All right, we're live. Check, check. Gotta switch on the webcam here one sec. All right. Everything look good, Steve? Sound? Let's see. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good. Nice. Well, good. I'm glad you watched the pre-market video. I managed to publish it this morning, which is good. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot. In terms, it's a very, it's hard to describe it, but what I'm seeing on all the charts, you can just see the markets where everything's kind of cohesive and functioning, and just you can see it. I don't know how to explain it, but after a certain amount of time, you can just see, when things are clear and when things aren't clear. And right now, things just aren't clear. That's why we're being careful and just making the money that presents itself to us. But I'm not going big. That one trade I was willing to copy trade across all accounts on the NASDAQ would have been a huge winner. Power went out. Can't do much about that. But those are the trades I'm very selectively waiting for right now because it's not the market to push it. Yeah, no, that's the thing. I've been around this thing for almost 20 years now. They go up and down. Sometimes you have a couple of months where there's just not a lot. The problem with most traders is that they want to trade every day, every week. They want the same market conditions that gave them those conditions when they were able to, put the pedal down to the floor and really make a lot of money. And those are the traders that blow up. Those are traders that have equity curves like this. And the reason they have the equity curves like that is because they're not in tune with the market. They're not aware of the fact that the market is constantly changing. It goes through periods. You'll have different periods where, certain periods the market's more clear. Certain periods it's not clear. And knowing when to hold them and when to fold them and when to push it is one of the keys to long-term success. If you trade the same market every day the same way, expecting the same results, you're probably going to have some trouble because markets are constantly shifting and adapting. Yeah, exactly. That's you, Steve. You probably had some success. And then because there would be a market condition that was favorable to whatever it was you were doing before OMA, and then the market would change and you'd give it back. Exactly. So, what we do here is we obviously read the market very well, but we also know by reading the market very well, I can tell when it's a good time to take a lot of risk, and I can tell when it's not a good time to take a lot of risk. And trading, people like to think of trading as a paycheck. It's not a paycheck. If you're going to be a professional trader, there's going to be months where you don't make a lot, or there's going to be months where you even, on net lose a little bit. You're like, oh my God, I worked all those hours. I didn't make a lot of money. Trading doesn't work like that. You just got to, implement your system. And then there might be 1 month, where you make 50 grand. And then the next month you might make, 10 grand. And then the next month you might make, minus 5 or 10 grand. It's not linear. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not linear. And it's really important because I think a lot of people want to treat trading like a job. It's not a job, like in the traditional sense. Thank you for your Maestro comment, Steve. I'm happy to be here to help you. I hope you're able to exit your ZN position when I posted that in Elite. I could just see bonds weren't behaving. There was that initial burst up on the bond auction. You caught that. It didn't fill my order, so I didn't get in on it. But I hope you were able to take a break even on that, because I could see that strong bond auction and that initial reaction was strong, and I was trying to get long on a pullback. But then it just kept dripping, and it just couldn't hold on to those gains. It told me that, you probably didn't want to be in that trade. So that's why I tried to alert you in the members area. And I hope you were able to, avoid taking a loss unnecessarily. That's another, key benefit of the Elite members area. I can't be in there all the time, but when I'm in there and I see stuff that I think can help you out, and not just about making money, it's about saving money and, managing the losses. Key. Okay, I'm glad you watched the video in the Elite members area. I'm glad I managed to publish it today. Yeah, exactly. You took 160 profit on ZN. Nice. Way to go. Yeah, I nailed it, but just, this is one of those markets. I'm just not getting filled on my orders, and that's okay. I'm still doing, well enough on these challenges where I'm just trying to take it slow. They're all just kind of moving toward the line. And I think the key is too, I'm still trying to think through on the challenges, right? Like I'm trying to think through, I'm trying to, like, what is the smartest way to do those? Do you get 100 of them, right? Let's say you get 100 of them, and then I would say if I took out 100 of those challenges and literally just went huge on every trade I took. I mean, you're going to fail some, obviously, but I'd like to think I'd pass, you know, 20, 30% of them or something like that. And if that's the case, I mean, then you got to look at the numbers. Like, what do those 100 challenges cost? You know, if you pass 20 or 30, because I'm pretty sure every challenge that I pass, that I get to PA, I don't think getting to payout is going to be an issue at all. Obviously, it's just the trailing draw of the challenge is how to game the system in the best way possible is what I'm interested in still trying to figure out. That's why I'm just kind of gingerly starting with these current challenges. Not really in a rush. I mean, I'd like to get them into PA status quickly, but this is not the market to do that. And it only takes one trade. That trade that my power went out, that we were stalking the NASDAQ, I guarantee you I would have made $1,000 at least on each one of those accounts. And then you're like, that's a huge boost, you know? So just wait for those good ones to set up. There's no point in forcing the issue. There will be another day and another day and another day. So that's that. The summary basically for today, for those who aren't an elite and don't have access to that pre-market video, the summary is that we're expecting more chop, but stocks do look like they're probably going to continue to squeeze. I mean, they really do look strong. I think we're going to finish strong today is what it looks like. But we'll see. You know, this market could throw a surprise at us. So I wouldn't take it for granted. We're very overextended up here. I'm not just going to be like, you know, I was very confident in being long back here, but now we've squeezed higher. You know, we could kind of come back down. So I'm going to approach the indices with caution today. The bonds, they look weak. They look like they want to keep dropping. They really do. If we look at the bonds here, and so you're going to continue to see this divergence between bonds and indices. And that's only going to last so long. But I just think bonds here, it looks like the weekly wants to try and close down here. So I think we could see, if we start to see bonds move below yesterday's low, you know, I think we could see some pretty good follow through on bonds. So there could potentially be some good shorts on bonds. At least we have clear weekly structure here, you know, trying to head down in here. So I think bonds could be good shorts, but we'll keep an eye on them. Gold continues to be an absolute disaster. It's just a total mess. I'm really glad we're avoiding it. Gold seems caught between higher rates from bonds. It's getting some, you know, it's getting headwind from higher rates from bonds, but it's getting a little bit of a tailwind from this dollar that's, you know, not really doing much. It's getting some flight to safety flows, but it's just, you can see the money flows in gold are a wreck right now. Ultimately, I'm expecting it to break lower. But right now it's doing so begrudgingly. You have a little bit of resistance up in here, but in terms of metals, the one that I want for today for metals is my dear silver. Yeah, go slow. Exactly. When you have PA, I mean, I would just go super slow. I mean, just to get one of the, and then just build up the PAs. So ultimately make it so eventually you have 20 of those PAs. And even if you can only get, you know, let's say you can get them to pay out once every 2 months, right? Even just once every 2 months, trading very conservatively on 20 accounts. That's an average of 10 payouts per month. If you're getting only one every 2 months on 20 accounts, you're getting, you know, one every month on every 10 accounts. That's 10 accounts, $2 grand to pay out, 20 grand a month. I mean, hey, that's nothing to scoff at, you know? So there is a long-term play to build up those challenge accounts to 20 of them and then just conservatively trade them and get those payouts that way. So I'm still trying to decide if I want to be super aggressive or not, but I haven't really made the decision yet. I'm starting slow until I figure it out, and the challenges are going well so far. Looking forward to taking more risk when the market is conducive. Guys, silver is one of my favorites today. Here's silver. Big push up on OMA. You still have a lot of resistance here. Platinum's heading lower. Copper's heading lower. I think silver is just fishing for the stops up here. I'm going to be looking to short silver if we get any good pops. I would like the dollar to get a little stronger, but I don't think it's necessary if bonds keep dropping and rates keep rising. I think silver's a good short today. Platinum is definitely a good short if we look at platinum here. I called this earlier, guys, in the member section during London when we were up here. Nice pullback on platinum here. I think we got to look to play the short side for sure. It looks like we want to head down to the weekly extension here on platinum. Yeah, exactly. With the PA, what you don't want to do is you don't want to go through all the effort of getting to PA and then blowing it, right? You, like, I see a lot of people are like, oh, once I get to PA, I'll just go for it and blow it. Well, if you have a real edge, that's the last thing you'd want to do. with a real edge, what you want to do on a PA account is build it up in the beginning so you give yourself a cushion. And then once you get yourself some cushion where you can afford to take bigger risk, and if you lose, you still get a payout, that's when you want to try and push it a little bit. That's what I would do. That's what I'm going to do. So platinum short, silver short, bonds short today, indices choppy, maybe some longs if they squeeze, if they really start to squeeze. Crude looks pretty bullish, so crude longs. Dollar is just looking like an absolute mess. I went through all the different FX markets. Wheat had, let's see, wheat here. I'm going to just bring up wheat real quick. Wheat has a pretty decent support level down here into 588. So it is something I'm going to try and keep an eye on. There was a crop report yesterday in soybeans, but my call ended up being pretty darn good in terms of long soybeans at 1188. I didn't take it, but for those of you who like to trade ags, I'm happy to give you the analysis. Wheat looks like it could be strong today. And I'm not really trading the grains right now until I have time to go through my mentor's old journals on the grains. He wrote a lot about that. I just, been a long time since I read those, so I got to go back and go through all that stuff. Soybeans here. Yeah, I said soybeans should be a strong resistance pattern today. So yesterday I said support, today resistance. That is turning out to be the case. But these are wild, so we'll check in on them. But I prefer just a short platinum, short silver. You know, I'll get more involved with the grains, you know, as we get a little bit more comfortable out here on YouTube land. I want to stick with my primary markets here to begin with. So let's just do our 8 o'clock check. And let's see if bonds or silver. So we got our 15-minute chart here, guys. 15-minute bar chart. Remember, we're just zooming in. For those of you who are new here, just imagine a candlestick chart, super zoomed in. It's like, this is space. We've got a telescope. You know, we're looking with a very clear telescope at the market, and we get very good reads. So go watch the video on how OMA works if you want to understand it a little better. All right. So let's see. We can start with the indices here. I haven't decided if I'm going to copy trade today or just continue to trade one account at a time. I'll just make that decision as the day unfolds, and if it looks like I want to take a lot of risk today, then I'll flip on the copy trader. Otherwise, it'll just be one account. If nothing ends up happening today and ends up being a horrible day, maybe, you know, horrible day price action wise, then we could turn it into a fuck it Fridays and just try and flip a couple accounts. We'll see. I'm open to whatever today, guys. We'll see what it gives us. So ES squeezing higher, not surprising. I do think we're going to squeeze today, so if we get a little bit of a pullback, I don't think it's going to be. I think pullback should be gobbled up today, is what it looks like. But I'm certainly not chasing this market because there are other better opportunities like shorting bonds and shorting metals. So I don't think it's a good market to chase. You know, yesterday we did have a very choppy day as we expected, and now we're getting the next squeeze day. So it's dangerous up here though, guys. You're in a lot of resistance, a lot. So just gotta. I would just exercise caution here on the indices, but we will check in with them. The Russell 2000 has a pretty decent resistance pattern on the daily, although I don't know. It looks like it's pushing higher now. Yeah, now the Russell's trying to push higher. I think they're going to squeeze. Even the Russell can squeeze of all markets. So the Russell's squeezing. They're all kind of squeezing right now. I think that's what's going to happen. And it looks like unless bonds stabilize, I mean, look at the 10-year. We're down to 110.20 right now. So yeah, you've never traded wheat. Yeah, I mean, I just gotta. It's been a long time since I traded them. There's different price action. Yeah, look at the 10-year here, you guys. I mean, there's a lot of support here on the weekly chart for the 10-year. This is the key level. This has to hold. If this starts breaking, look out. And I think silver will potentially be a great short. So the question is, would I want to go? We're missing some counter trend moves too. I'm going to start paying more attention to the counter trend. But generally speaking, the way that I keep the risk managed so well consistently is that I just trade the hourly in the direction of what I think the prevailing weekly, daily direction is. But I'm going to start looking a little bit more carefully at, okay, even though I think the direction might be down on the weekly, daily,
is there some sort of a chance for a counter trend move? Because there have been some pretty decent counter trend moves lately. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So 10-year treasury here. Do I want to buy or sell that? No, I don't. I need to wait to get the 30-year bonds. Nice. See, you just never know when you're going to get a signal. This is a real nice little hourly congestion short signal. You know, just I'm not at the computer at 7 a.m. So not going to see that. But that would be a good spot to be short bonds. Now the question is, you know, would you want to buy bonds at this support on the hourly? No. I want to see if that's going to hold or break. I don't know yet. But I'm more interested in shorting up in here for the 30-year. Let's look at the Ultra bond. I think silver could give us, yeah, here's the Ultra. Man, pisses me off when I come to the computer. I'm like, oh, if I would have seen this signal at 7 a.m., I would have, but I can't like stand here 24 hours a day, obviously. I got to rest, especially with COVID, before I come and do this. I was watching a little bit during London, but it was pretty choppy. You just never know when it's going to kind of pop up there and give you the right signal. So bonds look weak. I think we're going downtown with bonds here today. I'm going to look to short the pops on bonds. Here's the daily. I mean, this is the key. If we start taking out this low here, sorry, I got to make it blue. This low from yesterday here, which is we're about to get to it here. If we start to take that out, you know, I think we could see a pretty sharp decline down to, well, the weekly envelope bottom at, you know, you could see a pretty serious drop today. If bonds aren't being supported here, the bottom could fall out. We had a very popular 30-year auction yesterday, and that did cause an initial bounce that Steve was able to take advantage and make some money off of. I was also looking to buy the auction because of the OMA pattern heading into it. I didn't get filled on my order, but it wasn't able to hold the post-auction levels afterwards, which was pretty telling to me that this market is weak. It couldn't even hold the rally on that strong 30-year treasury auction. So bonds, I'm just waiting to see if this support breaks or just looking to get short on another bounce. Gold, I do think is going to continue to be an absolute mess, although with rallies probably being capped. So I wouldn't be long gold here, you guys, under any circumstances. Kind of falling out of bed here. Look at silver is the one I like, guys, because silver, for whatever reason, decided to have a massive rally yesterday. Yeah, so here, they even silver set up at 7 a.m. Just a beautiful little short pattern here. So silver is the one I'm quite interested in. See how we're still on the daily chart here, you guys. You see how we're up here. This is Quant Tower. I gotta figure out how to deal with those updates. Sometimes I'll be like locked into a position, just focused, and like, you know, when you're focused, it's like meditative. Like you're fucking dialed in, and you're in, and then Quant Tower would just go doot doot doot. You're like, fuck, like just let me stay in my zone. I got to turn that update off. Or if you know, anybody knows anybody at Quant Tower, let them know to turn those fucking notifications off. I'm in a good mood today, I promise. All right, so silver here, I do think, you know, we could see a move back down to these lows. Silver's weak. So the fact that silver bounced here, this is the daily chart, you guys. So you notice something here, how silver's just down, down, down. And yesterday, just that big bounce, I think it was to take out some stops up in here, maybe suck in some longs. And if bonds stay under pressure, especially if we can catch a little bit of a bid in the dollar, a little bit of dollar strength, I mean, we could see a pretty good situation to the downside for silver. So it's going to be one of my favorites today, at least to keep an eye on. If it cooperates, then definitely put on some trades. You can see the hourly here on silver. Looks like it might be trying to break through the daily envelope top. We'll keep an eye on the 15-minute chart in case it does start to break down. We can maybe take a pullback on the 15-minute. That's kind of a favorite for 8 a.m. silver. We'll keep an eye on that. Look at copper, because we're going to watch the 15-minute chart too. We're going to be a lot more active, proactive. Copper, yeah, they're all heading south at the same time now. Copper, platinum, silver, gold, bonds, right? So I think the best one is to short silver because hopefully it'll catch down fast to all these other ones. There's platinum. The platinum's I'm just waiting for a pop on platinum. You're at the daily. You got a couple of little support levels here in the daily that could cause the bounce on platinum. You see the near low here in blue, and you see the envelope bottom in green. That's cool. I can draw in green as well. Nice. Anyways, these are daily levels coming across here. Daily chart, those levels right there. You see, so could be temporary support. I think ultimately we're going to revisit these lows today, but hopefully it can cause a little bit of a bounce. So that's platinum there. Let's look at crude. I think crude's going to continue to squeeze higher. So we'll keep an eye on crude. Had that great buy on crude yesterday. Obviously, should have held it for a lot more, but I don't know. I even thought crude could have squeezed like that yesterday. I said, I think we can squeeze, and we did. We had a good little chunk out of it, which is fine, but should have held it for more. Looking at crude today, so yeah, like today, if we were to get a nice big crash down into support on crude, and this is the hourly chart here, you know, if we were to crash down in here somewhere, I'd be interested in crude, longing crude potentially. The key for the metals is the dollar. Here's the euro. It's just an absolute disaster show the last few days. I mean, look at this price action on the dollar, guys. The last 5 trading days. I mean, it's just pinned to this level. I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing a lot of wacky price action here. But that doesn't mean that silver is not going to drop. Let's look at, wheat. One of the reasons I don't trade wheat very actively is because they have that weird pause. You know, it doesn't really get going until we'll start watching wheat and soybean. The thing is, they open at the same time the stock market opens, right? So can't really focus on all of them. They reopen, you know, when the stock market opens. But we do have a nice support pattern on wheat today, so we'll keep an eye on wheat a little bit more closely. Soybeans from the short side. Look at soybeans. The soybeans can be super wild, so if we were to get a big pop back up here, which soybeans can do, wouldn't be a bad short, so we'll keep an eye on soybeans. All right, so let's go look at bonds again. We've got about 3 minutes until 8 a.m. So this is going to be, you know, key here for the bonds to see whether or not that support level holds. I'm hesitant to go long here just because I think the weekly and the daily are down. And sure, the daily could surprise us. Here's the daily. I mean, this is the 30-year. We're already kind of breaking these lows. That's pretty important there. So I think we're headed lower. Just wait for a pop short. Look at the ultra bond. Sucking up nicely there, but not really. You're in, the way I structure my trades, guys, is like we're in hourly congestion here. We got some support down here on the hourly. But then I look at my daily, my weekly charts using all my OMA. I'm like, okay, is this an area where I, you know, would want to bet on hourly support holding? Not really. Does that mean it won't hold? No, it can hold. It's just not where I'm willing to place a bet. Because I don't have a confluence. I don't have a combination of higher time period levels here to lean against. And that's why you see a lot of my trades, even if I take a trade and then change my mind and I don't want to be in, a lot of times I can get out at or close to break even because at least I picked an initial good level to trade against. And even if the trade's going to be wrong, the level, it'll sit there at least for a few minutes and give you an idea. And if you don't like it, you can get out. You know, it doesn't happen like that every time, but it's one of the keys to managing risk and being a successful trader. It's not about your winning trades. Everybody has winning trades. It's about minimizing your losing trades and minimizing the damage that the losing trades does. You know, it's so important. I'm going to keep harping on that. All right, let's go back to silver. The silver's kind of a favorite here today. Now the question, heading into 8 a.m., you can see we're breaking the extension here. Got a lot of temporary. We don't really have an hourly, situation that I like, but the 15-minute is trending down. And if the hourly chart here, if we're on our way down here, I mean, the only way the hourly is going to get down there is if the 15-minute keeps trending, right? So if the 15-minute is going to keep trending, we don't have that answer yet, but we're going to watch it, right? Because we have rules for what our trend is. If the 15-minute is going to keep trending down here, then we would want to try and just jump on a little pullback and, get in. But you certainly, I promise you, silver is one of these markets, like, you get in here because you think it's going lower, and 15 minutes later it's up here and you're down $500. It's not fun. That's why I'm very patient and selective in letting the market come to my level. Very important. So, basically here for silver on the hourly chart, you've got your resistance up in here, 22.72, and on the daily, this is the old extension from yesterday. Even make a note of that. These are very valid, even though they happened yesterday. Bring them over to today. They're still very, very valid. So when you have that 22.72.73 level, that's right there. We're now coming out of that. So are we going to go back and visit it one more time? I hope so, because that's where I'd like to get short. But it might just start, heading down. But if it does, we've got the 15-minute chart here. And I'm going to have to make a decision. Do I want to copy trade this, or do I want to just put it on one account? Probably one account, only because the dollar, like when I flip the copy trader on, guys, it's when I'm seeing really good correlations. Everything's firing on all cylinders, and I want to go for it, like that NASDAQ trade on Wednesday. You can just feel it, like, yeah, that's the one. Silver right now, I think it's a good trade, and we can probably make some money out of it, but I'll just continue to try and build my accounts one at a time as the market works itself out. Now, if I see the scoreboard shift and the dollar starts to catch a bid and bonds are dropping and it looks like we've got some wind behind our sails, yeah, then I'll go ahead and copy trade the shorts on silver or platinum or whatever else. That's really important. All right, so let's, I think, look at Dr. Copper. See, these are all correlated. Copper's just, guys, copper is the canary in the coal mine for recession. And we can see it on the yield curve as well, the uninversion of the previously inverted yield curve. This little rally we're having in the stock market right now, you look at the options positioning, there's going to be a lot of people off sides, and it's going to happen fast, and we're going to be ready. I'm going to short the living shit out of it as it starts to roll over and drop, but I'm waiting for it to pop out. A lot of people, they think, oh, we're at the top, I'm going to start shorting. Like, no, wait until it confirms. That's what I'm doing for indices. So look at copper here. This is the daily. We are firing the downside. That's, copper doesn't do that in a strong economy. See the yearly here on copper. It's kind of wild, but you can kind of see, like, through the last little economic boom, we've gone, just kind of, we rolled over a little there on the COVID crisis, popped up. Now we're rolling back over again. Could head all the way back down to these COVID lows down here on copper. That's a big drop. That could happen this year. We'll see. Quarterly will tell us, and then the monthly will tell us. We'll put it all together. All right, so let's take a look at the bonds real quick before we go back to silver. I don't believe we have any crazy news coming out, but we do have some revisions to CPI, I think. Let me just double check that. Got the Canadian employment change. If we're not seeing anything else, we may go try and pick off a trade on the Canadian dollar. How do you guys think? What do you think about that? Jazu, are you here? You're a Canadian. Do you want to trade the Canadian dollar at the employment change? Be fun. We might do that for the CAD. And then we don't really have a lot today. We do have some CPI revisions, I think I read. Euro hedge. Keep our eye out for that. Let's see. Okay, so bonds look weak. I think silver is just gonna head down. It really just is. It already is. I'm just being a stickler for the right entry. I wish I would have been in from up here, but it might just keep dropping. Silver, when silver gets going, it just goes. But I'm gonna wait and see if I can't catch pullback. The question on silver here with the hourly. Let's look at the 4 hour. Let me just do. Let me just bring up the 4 hourly here. All right, here's the 4 hour. So here's silver. This just gives us a little bit of a better bird's eye view. Yeah, I think we're headed back down here. So now it's going to be a matter of how aggressive to be. Is it Fuck It Friday or not? On Fuck It Fridays, I just kind of throw a little more caution to the wind. Definitely wouldn't copy trade this. Silver's 4 hour there is looking. I think we're headed down at least 10 cents from here. Just man, I'd love to get short a little closer to 22.68, 22.69, but may not look back. So we'll keep an eye on it. Or it could be one of those just to, throw on the throw on one contract here or a little higher. I'll let you guys will see what I'm doing. This is just one account, so I might. And if you wonder why I'm being, why am I so careful? Well, because the spotlight is on me. I'm out here representing the fact that I know what the fuck I'm doing. So I don't have the luxury of being one of these other guys on their channels like, well, I'm just, I don't know anything about trading. I'm just going to fucking do this. And well, I don't have that luxury. So I've got to be a little bit more careful even on Fuck It Fridays. But just so you wonder why I don't just, it's going to go down. Why not just go in? Well, that's why. It takes a lot of pressure off you if you're out there streaming. You're like, yeah, don't listen to me. I don't know anything. Just whatever. Like, and you are kind of free just to fuck around and fuck up. I'm not out here saying that I don't know anything. I'm the opposite. I'm saying that I do know something, and if you pay attention, you'll learn a lot. So I'm trying to teach you how to, learn how to trade. So that's why I don't just haphazardly throw shit on, even on a challenge. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, platinum's pulling back a little bit, Steve, but not much. I mean, I would want platinum to pull back, I think, up in here. Potentially. That's kind of what I'd be looking for. Go back to silver. YouTube's a fun place. You get all kinds of different personalities, different trader types. Patrick Whelan yesterday, he's like, I think he's really funny. I don't have anything against Patrick Whelan. Like yesterday he said it's tradertainment. Yeah, he's great at tradertainment. My God, if that's what people want, to be entertained, then he's a great channel because he's funny. Like he cracks me up, anyways. I don't think he's a bad guy. Like when he's yelling at cusses out his people, but I think he's just joking. I think Rips is also, Rips, he's a good trader. You can see he's a good trader. I think he's just kind of hard to copy, because it moves pretty fast and he uses a really big size. What do you think about silver being up here, Steve? Rips is SoCal native like me, representing the SoCal. Booyah, Rips. What do you think about it up here, Steve? I think the way I'm seeing this is that the 15-minute chart trending down, you know, any attempt to rally on the 15-minute should be capped to roll back over like that. That's what I would be looking for here. And if we don't get anything on silver here, then we will turn our attention to the Canadian dollar for the Canadian employment report. That could be fun. Yeah, the thing is, I could see copper and platinum pulling back for good entries, but the thing about silver is we're already, I think we're very close to the high of the day. I think the high of the day is in up here. We'll see. It's just what it looks like now. A lot of that, I guess, is going to depend on, I mean, if stocks really start squeezing and the dollar starts to dive and bonds recover, okay, then maybe silver could go a little higher. But charts aren't really saying that. The charts are saying downtown. Are you long the 10-year, Steve, or are you waiting to short it? I think for bonds, I would like to wait for a decent pullback. Here's the ultra bonds here. I think for bonds, I'd like to get short, if possible, into ultra bonds, you know, 126.20 or higher. That's kind of where I'd like to get short bonds. The question is, are we going to go there right now? We might. I mean, you did suck up. This is what I was talking about, these little counter trend plays, right? Like this may be on its way up here. Kind of where I want to get short. So just wait for bonds to develop. It looks like it could be headed higher now, which means, you know, that could be the catalyst for the bounce we want in silver and platinum and copper to get short. Back to look at silver, and we'll prepare for the Canadian dollar employment report here in just about 5 minutes, so we can see if we can pick off a good level and earn ourselves some loonies during the Canadian employment report. So silver, I'd like to get short up into 22.70. I'm just kind of waiting for this 15-minute to potentially try and bounce a little bit. I do think silver has a good possibility to catch down to copper and platinum today. We're waiting for that. Let's go ahead and just look at our Canadian dollar here real quick. Looking at the futures. So I would treat this the same way that I do, you know, like a non-farm payroll or something. So we look at all the higher time period charts. You can kind of see the 4-hour for the CAD is trying to squeeze a little bit. The hourly is trending up. The daily, you know, it's trying to squeeze a little higher. Crude oil strong. That's probably helping the CAD. The dollar doesn't look like it's particularly strong right now. That's helping. So the question is on this report, because it could get, you know, could give us a really good opportunity, just like non-farm payrolls, right? This is basically the same thing for the CAD. Double check that. Pretty sure that's where we're at. Let's see. Oh, Sweden. I missed my construction output year over year and my household consumption report, I can tell you that I'm doing my part to support the economy here in Sweden. Let's look at the CAD. Okay, yeah, it is the employment change. That should move the market. I think we can have a little fun trading the CAD here while we're waiting maybe for crude to pull back. The question is, where is CAD going? Like one of my favorite Dave Matthews songs. Where are you going? Hourly trending up. Or see, because I think on the back of this report, you could see a little squeezy deezy to the upside. So then I would want to look at some opportunity to get filled on a snap lower and a reversal higher. That's the way I like to play these reports. I have been a little unlucky lately because I've been picking the direction fucking phenomenally on these news releases, but they just haven't been whipping and filling me. They just been kind of like on bonds yesterday on the bond auction. Just told Steve, like, we need to go long here. And I just had my order just below because I wanted it to dip and fill, but it just didn't dip. It just, bond auction came out and it just went. I'm like, sometimes you just got to get in at market. I'm just not really, I like to, I don't know, with the news announcements, I like to try and catch the outer bounds, and I use the levels with OMA. So for the daily here, for the CAD, just looking at the weekly too, you guys. I mean, you got a lot of support anywhere in this whole area, 70-30, 74-30 or lower on the daily. The 4 hour, like I said, does look quite bullish. This is the 4 hour. It looks to me like, you know, we could be trying to squeeze up to the daily near high up here. You know, that's only whatever it is, 12. I guess it's still 24 ticks, right? Because it's, we'll look at the cat on the DOM. 1 second. Bringing up the cat here. What I want. So funny, like on the quant tower, sometimes I type in, I'm like 6CH4. Like that's the CAD March contract, right? And quant tower will like, oh, when you say 6CH4, do you want 6CH4? I'm like, actually, I do. That's kind of why I fucking said it. Sorry guys, I'm a little spicy today, but not in a bad way, just in a fun way. So looking at the 4 hour here for the CAD, you know, see, I would always look, you know, where would the stops be? That's the way I like to do it. So they'd be down in here, you know, maybe down there. Nice extension, 74.28. That's kind of below our daily support level there. So I'd be looking, you know, for a potential move down, catch, and then, you know, you get a close back up like that. It goes. So I'm kind of eyeing that 74.30 level, 74.28. Add, looking at the hourly here, be down below these lows. And we'll keep an eye. I'm watching silver, guys, while we wait for a potential pullback. I got the scoreboard over there. Steve's my co-pilot. He's looking at stuff too. Got the hot chocolate coffee today. I'm getting a little better with the COVID, you guys, but it's still, man, it's like, it is better. I'm on the upswing. But just tired. It's just more intense than I've ever dealt with, I think. All right. So we've got 10 minutes until the CAD employment report. Let's quickly cycle through here. Let's look back at bonds. Yeah. Give me a lot of resistance on bonds up in here, so. Bonds are heavy. I mean, guys, this quarterly chart in bonds, this is the ultra bond here. This is the quarterly chart. So remember, just each one of these bars is a quarter, full quarter, 3 months. I mean, look at the strength of this trend run. Just trending down on the quarterly. There's your pop heading into the end of last year. I mean, this really looks like it wants to go down here. And if bonds keep dropping, you guys know what that means, right? Like there's an inverse correlation. So bonds drop, rates keep pushing higher. And if stocks keep trying to grind higher as bonds are dropping and rates are increasing, there's a divergence there between stocks and bonds. And it's going to have to meet. Probably going to meet with stocks going off the cliff. So we're just waiting for it to turn. And we're playing the long side, like as it grinds a little higher, just waiting for the right spots. So there's the bonds. Interesting quarterly chart there. And it doesn't mean, you know, we're not going to buy bonds on any given day. Sure, you know, that it doesn't go straight down for a quarter. I'm just kind of looking at the longer term here. So let's go check in with platinum and silver. Yeah, platinum, I think we're headed down to 876. Still got a ways to go, but just not a lot of pullbacks. There was that little micro pullback that you mentioned, Steve. But I like to wait. I just I miss a lot when it's dropping. I'm like, I know it's dropping, but I don't chase, and I find that overall that serves me to manage risk a lot better because I know that when I get in, I'm getting in at the spot I want to get in, and I know if I'm patient and watching all these futures markets, I don't need to chase one, right? Because something will pop up that, you know, gives me a good spot at the right level that I want, right? And I'm not interested in the quantity of trades. I'm interested in the quality of trades because I like to focus on managing risk, and then let the profit take care of itself. It's not a sexy way to trade, but it's a profitable way to trade. And that's the way to do it. So we're just waiting for the CAD employment report, you guys. It's coming out in 8 minutes. I'm just kind of scrolling through. This is crude. We're waiting for a flush lower on crude. Get long later. Let's go back to silver. Silver's kind of still hanging out at 22.65. I do think we're close to the high of the day on silver. So this is kind of what I'm interested in potentially if the 15-minute would pop up. You know, we might want to try and get. You see, we're breaking through the daily envelope top now on silver. That's a good sign. So you see here the daily chart. There's Quant Tower, high Quant Tower. Steve? Can you guys hear Quant Tower when it goes off? So here's the daily envelope top, right there in green, guys. You see, so we're breaking that here. You can see that's right there, right? So hopefully that means we're on our way. We're going to watch silver here because I might have to take a shot if we get a nice little pop up here. Might try and short and then turn our attention to the CAD. Like with this COVID thing, I get like 8 hours of sleep. It feels like I got like 2 hours. All right. So we're waiting to short silver and we're going to trade the Canadian dollar. We're going to try and get long the loony toony at the Canadian employment release here in 6 minutes. We're just watching silver here while we wait for the Canadian employment report. Then we'll switch our attention to the Canadian futures. We're looking to get long, maybe down below. I think that level was 74.30 on the Canadian futures, Canadian dollar futures. You can hear. Oh, you can't hear Quant Tower. Okay, so you guys don't hear when Quant Tower annoys me. That's funny. I'm just sitting here ranting and raving like a lunatic, and you don't even hear Quant. That's funny. I like Quant Tower though. Overall, it's a good platform. It can lose connectivity sometimes, but I guess that's a rhythmic issue, and then that's like an apex issue. I'm not really sure. I'm still learning about the whole prop firm thing, but it's quite fun. All right, so silver here. So, you know, just waiting for a pop and see. I want to get short. Man. Guys, if you've never lived north of 50 degrees north latitude, I think right now, I'll show you guys where I am here while we're waiting for the Canadian report and we're waiting for silver. We got a few minutes. Look at the map here. Just so you guys get a sense here. So check this. You guys see this? Pretty cool. So I am right now, right? Like there. I mean, look at, for those of you in, like Steve in Utah, right? Like me growing up in Southern California here, LA, I always thought of like Idaho and Utah. I was like, wow, that's super far north. I always thought of Canada as like just so far north. And now I'm like above Canada, like here. Like Alaska, that's where we are. Fucking nuts. If you like the sun like I do, I don't recommend it. It's not for the faint of heart. Living in Sweden. All right, so you can see silver did respond to that resistance level. The daily envelope top here is distributing as expected. I do think we're kind of close to the high of the day for silver. I'm just trying to pinpoint an entry. That might have been it. Let's go look at the CAD, and we'll come back to silver here in a second. Here's the CAD. So the Canadian employment report, guys, here in 3 minutes. And our level on the CAD, you know, like I said, kind of down into, you know, anywhere down into these lows, below these lows, I think, where the stops are hiding. I mean, look, we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll just fire down and be a horrible report, and who knows. But the 4 hourly chart's pretty bullish. I think it's down in here, 74.30. I'll probably just put on an order down there. See if we can get tagged, get lucky. Meanwhile, keep an eye on silver. Silver is at 64. So that little pop there on silver. Check it again. It's a good sign. It's telling us that we are distributing here. Question is, you know, to go short and then just put the stop back here and just let it be. I'm not kind of a let it be type of guy. I like to really monitor my trades. So, I mean, on a swing trade, yeah, but that's a totally different ballgame. See, with bonds rallying here, hang on. With bonds rallying here, hopefully that'll hold silver up just a little longer for us. All right, let's look at the CAD. So the CAD, how many contracts? Remember, this is kind of just, I'm just doing it on this one account, so don't, you know, take this, this is just kind of one of these news trades. I want to get more familiar with how the FX futures move on the news. I don't really trade them that often. Let's just go 2 contracts here. This one account. We got the Canadian futures. Like I said, I think there's a lot of support down there into like 74, you know, 31. Well, let's just see what happens, guys. Don't try this at home. All right, we got 30 seconds. $20 seconds for those of you with latency. Now we're already pushing higher. So I'm just trying to go with the daily, the 4 hour, and the hourly energy and see if they spike it down. But again, I have no idea how thin this is going to be. Maybe the Canadian dollar will move like thousands of, you know, not thousands, but you know, Maybe it can move 100 ticks. I have no idea. So there's the employment change. Oh, look at that. Wow, we were right on the direction. So yeah, just got to be a little bit. I've been. Here it comes. See if we can leave our order there. Where's silver at? All right, so we had the direction pegged nicely there on the CAD. I suppose I'll leave my order there if for whatever reason it wants to swing down to like 74.34. I think that would be a good spot. You never know. It could swing back down here and then close back up in the middle. We'll see. So we're looking to get long the CAD. Good directional read there. Silver's at 22.63. Man, the question with silver, you guys, is we just throw on the short and just close our eyes the rest of the day, because I think silver could be one of those days where it just steadily drops. Now we're at 67 now, so something's happening. Maybe the CPI was going to get released. Okay, we got to go to silver here. I don't think we're going to get in because silver's moving, you guys. Silver might be giving us a pop because they were going to re-release some CPI numbers. You see? This is what I'm talking about, you guys. This is why I try to pick my spots carefully. You know, just say like, well, silver's going down. Let's just, you know, but I might have to short up here. I just might have to. Yeah, I'm short one silver. I wish I would have gotten it higher. This may bite me in the ass. But I think that was sort of a something going on here. It's pretty nutty. Uh-oh. Very strong. See if it comes back a little bit. Trying to get out and get a better entry because that was a horrible entry. Uh-oh. I think I'm just going to book that loss here quickly. There's a ton of resistance up here, guys. I think silver is just running some stops, so I might re-enter, but I want to watch this. Especially up here, 2280. That was, I got to see what the news was, because there's nothing on the dock yet except for that Canadian inflation. Yeah, I think this is a result of they were gonna release some CPI numbers or something. But this is interesting. Checking. I lost 280 on that silver, but I made 450 scalping silver earlier on another account, so I don't really, it doesn't bother me too much. I'll tally it all up later. Yeah, this is not a result of the Canadians. This is, I think this must be a they were gonna revise some CPI numbers, and then I think this is a revision of CPI numbers. But man, there's a lot of resistance up here. Oh, I know this is, I like this area up here for silver. I should have been paying more attention to short those highs. I got to focus. Because this is exactly the opportunity I wanted. Yeah, it's a good idea, Steve. Sit tight. I'm going to watch silver here. I'm trying to short 2 at 75. Man. Yeah, that was just a little bit of a goose. I had the right idea. I just rushed into silver, which I shouldn't have done, and then, you know, I mismanaged it. But the idea is correct. That the pattern is down. Man, that's what silver does. It's just, I want to get short here. Fuck. Trying to get short at 71.5. Just trying to manage this, you guys. Trying to get short silver. Ah. Silver's just so thin. It's tough to get a really precise entry. I'm trying to get short 73. I think silver's one where we could potentially catch a runner today to the downside. So that's why I'm either that or I'll blow an account. I'm willing to risk an account on silver today. Man. Kicking myself I didn't get short like 5 contracts up there at the highs. Like that was just, ooh. Yeah, copper. Are you going to short copper, Steve? Trying to get short silver here. Oh. This is tough with these entries, you know? It's like, oh, especially silver. It's a tough one to enter on. It's just, there's no like rhyme and reason to silver. I'm gonna try and short it here. You're like, all right, it's dropping, and then it'll just go back up, 5 cents. You're like, let's see if we can get short here. Come on. Just not, look, it's just not getting a chance here. Looking a lot like bonds from yesterday here. After that auction. I'm leaving my order there. I might have to chase it, but man, bonds too. I think bonds are setting up a potential short too. Might have to short bonds. Leave the silver there. I think bonds, platinum silver. I'm gonna go over to UB. This weird price action. Like, I hate chasing. Just, oh. Short one bonds, but I'd like to be short more, but I'd like to be short more from higher up. And that must have been some freak CPI thing, because that just rocked everything at the same time. That was a really, I got to see what that was. But man, silver. Ooh. Well, we're short bonds. I'd like to be short more bonds. Trying to add. Where's silver at? 2263. Silver. Oh. That was, this happens, guys. Like, we're waiting for our setups, and then some piece of news that's not on the calendar just fucking rocks everything. So had there been news on the calendar, we would have just been watching our favorite market waiting, and it's, easier to trade it in that sense. But as it is, we're adjusting. We'll see how we go here. Short the second one. Or is it 63.5? This 15-minute is going to close here in 40 seconds. I'm still up about 250 on the day so far, but I'm going to be aggressive today, guys. We're either going to have a good day with one of these accounts or we'll blow it. Looks like it's going to be a wacky day. So Steve, you're short the 10-year. Where are you short from? Silver's at 65. Very volatile. So you're short from 28 on the 10-year. That's nice. Better entry than me. I wish I'd be in. I had to kind of chase this. Hopefully it'll just slam down. Remember what I said, guys? I said we wanted to try and get short the bonds right up in there into that OMA resistance level. That's right where it went. You know, we'll see how this plays out. I mean, yesterday you had similar on the bond auction. You see here, there was the bond auction. Big pop up and then reverse back down to the lows right there. That's kind of what I'm hoping happens now. There's your big pop up. I'm hoping this hourly bar settles back down here and then rolls over back down to these lows. That would be nice. The dollar is 07.94. Silver 62.5. Yeah, silver that short from 75 would have been sweet. That's what happens when everything just happens all at once. I gotta check zero hedge. We're short the bonds. See how this goes. There's no way the Canadian employment report caused all that. I'm sorry, my Canadian friends, but your employment report I don't think caused all that. Let's go to zero hedge premium. I don't know what that was, but I have a feeling it was. I read something earlier about a CPI. They were going to revise some things, so I think it has to do with that. But we'll find out more later. Looking at my zero hedge. Now we just want bonds to kind of collapse. Reading the news, you guys. Seeing what that was. Anyways, we're short bonds. Come on, bonds. It'd be nice if we could get a drop back toward the lows. We're waiting. We'll see if there's anything else. Man, silver just breaking my heart. Look at that. Just, oh. I'm just totally, you know, I just shorted poorly. And then when it started going against me, I thought, Jesus, I don't want to be in this if this starts. So I took a small loss there and then trying to re-enter. Man. Well, if silver starts dropping, hopefully bonds will drop. It'll be a good outcome from this trade. I think silver's going to be, you know, we're going to keep a close eye on silver today. Silver's a tough market to day trade. It really is. It just has strange price action. And bonds, I mean, let's get moving to the downside, bonds. You know, I don't think we need to stall out here. Yeah, that volume was crazy, and on a market like silver, they can really jerk that market around because it's so thin. I should have That's another thing too, just streaming and trading. I'm still getting used to it, guys. Streaming and trading is a lot harder than just trading. But silver, I should have just known, just man, short the daily high. Fucking go huge the daily high. That was like a gift from God to short silver up there. Hopefully we'll get some redemption here on bonds if they can just drop. Or maybe it's the kind of day where everything just wants to piss you off. Could be that. The fact that it's just sitting here, I mean, usually bonds, like, just start tanking, baby. Like that. Yeah, and well, next time, there's no way to foresee that. Some unscheduled news, you know, something just... Yeah, it's trying. Now my question is too, like, you know, maybe try and get 5 ticks, 6 ticks on bonds and then try and re-enter. I mean, we can drop down right now to like 6. I might take a little and then try and re-enter on a little pop. Trying. And I'm taking that and I'm going to look to re-short at 9. I still think they're going down, guys. I'm just trying to milk this. Anyways, we're having a good day in spite of things. We're on these accounts I'm trading, so you see. So for the day, even with that silver mishap, which wasn't fun, but the 2 I'm trading right now, this one and that one, you know, so far on the day up about $600, which is fine. This is one of those days, guys, where I'm not linking all the accounts. I'm not being aggressive. So even with that silver mishap, we're still up 600. Just taking it nice and slow. I think bonds will be a runner here, and but I want to try and get filled back up here at, you know, 126.9. Man, what a call on silver though, huh? Oof. Silver. That was wicked. At least we're having some action today, guys. Kind of fun. But that was just rocked all the markets. See, that's the kind of move I'm looking for, right? Like, I just didn't, there was no news there. I got to find out what that was. But that's the kind of thing where if you know, you're watching bonds, I do my news play, right? Where I look at the daily levels, I look at everything, I go, oh, I like that daily level up in there. Remember how I talked about that, guys, before? You know, I said I like bonds up into that, I said, you know, 126.20, 126.21 up in there, right? That's the kind of play where those are the ones. You set a few contracts up there, you get, boom. I mean, catch those. Those happen. So now if you wonder why I'm trying to get short at 0.9 on the bonds, it's because we got the hourly true average right there. You see that little right there? And if you look over here, you guys see that? When that hour closed, picks up. I'm not saying that has to happen this time, but patterns do repeat themselves, especially with OMA. And that's what I'm looking for. Maybe this time it won't go back up there. But, you know, yesterday it did. Anyways, the important thing is when you can read the charts and you're more or less on the right side of the market, you know, all the time. Doesn't mean you won't take losses. You will on, you know, messing up positions and stuff like that, like on silver. But you just put yourself in a really good position over time to capitalize because you can read it so well. So let's, all right, we got 8:54, guys. We're rocking and rolling today. Let's, there's some stuff happening. I'm going to leave that order there. I just don't want to forget about it. Let's cycle through here. Let's look at all the hourly closes. I think we're going to have a fun day. We're up 600. I mean, could be worse. Could be a lot better. That's for sure. But I guess, look, on that news release that wasn't scheduled, how many people just got, you know what, royally up the you know what? Whereas we came out, you know, with a little bit of a profit. I'll take it. I mean, look at ES right there, guys. That was 20 handle move. So ES looks like it's going to try and reverse off of that. That looks like an exhaust. So careful. I'm not saying I'm going to short it. I'm going to look for something else to short. But that was wicked. I can't wait to read Zero Hedge and see what that was all about. Now Russell 2000 was another one. Like, that's just way too overextended up here. I just hate the Russell, but like, that's probably a good short on the Russell right there. Right up in here, I'm guessing. I just don't like the Russell. Let's go look at bonds. I'm trying to get short the ultra bonds at 9. Right up in here for a move back down. Silver, guys, I think could be headed down the rest of the day, so we're gonna have to keep our eye on that. Yeah, that was just. You can use the market manipulation to your favor, but when it's unannounced like that, it's hard to plan for. It's just, and then it moves everything all at once. So silver's playing out as we expected it would. Just need. I mean, if I have a choice between shorting bonds and shorting silver, I'll go bonds every time just because silver is whatever. But if we get a pullback, we'll see. Let's look at copper. Looking at the hourlies here, guys. Platinum. Steve's up $500 on ZN. Nice, Steve. Boom. OMA Hall of Fame, baby. We're going to have a Hall of Fame one day. Yeah, I guess the Canadian news. No, that was definitely some hidden readjustment of inflation numbers. I know I read that somewhere, and why it's not on the calendar, I have no idea. But that's all right. We're kicking ass. Life is good. See what we got shaking here. For what did crude do? They're still trying to get short ultra bonds, guys. You can see on the screen. Let's see. Am I over there? I don't know. I don't know where the green screen is. You get it. Okay, so crude is racing higher, but we're waiting for a pullback. So right now, I think bonds want to go back to their lows of the day. They're responding. We had the same situation yesterday here after the 30-year auction. It just kind of leaked back to the lows. So I think we're probably headed back down to these lows. But I don't want to chase too much. That's why I took some profit off there. Trying to get short at the hourly true average up here. 7 or 8 now. I'll have to move it. I'll move it down to 7. If I can get short at 7 and, target down here around 26. Doing steady as she goes. Yeah. If you just patiently wait and the news is coming out, I'll catch a couple of those crazy. If I know the news is coming out and I pick my levels very carefully, I'll catch a couple of them a month, and those are nice trades. But I don't catch a lot of them because I put my orders way outside. But then again, you got to know that the news is coming out. We nailed the CAD news, right? We said the Canadian dollar should go up, but we set our order below support, and it just went straight up without filling us. And then all this stuff happened, which was crazy. We are having fun. So Steve, that's nice, man. 500 on the 10-year. How many contracts did you go? 2, 3? Yeah, the SI was spot on. Guys, I gave Steve an order to short SI. Where did you have your order, Steve? Yeah, the SI was spot on. Just still getting used to. It's like my 3rd or 4th week streaming and trading, and Trading I know how to do. Streaming and trading, I'm learning. All right, so I'm trying to get short. Trying to get short up here. This is kind of wacky though. You've got a pretty big. I'm just gonna cancel this and reassess everything. I think we're still going down. I think we're going down here, but I just want to wait and see what the 15-minute does. So Steve, your order to short silver was at 22.74 and you pulled it. Oh God, man! On one contract right now, 15 cents. You're up 7.50 on that, but no harm, no foul, buddy. It's when it gets volatile like that, it's like I made the mistake. Look, in the middle of that fiasco, I shorted silver like at 69, but then it was just, it had to do one last little bit of fuckery. And as it was going up here, I was like, oh man. So I cut it with a small loss, $250 or something. And then I just wasn't thinking. I should have shorted called this out at the beginning of the day. These highs, that was a gift. But when things happen fast like that and you got to react and whatever, you're going to make mistakes. As long as you're still making money. You know, I don't make mistakes very often, but when I do, what are you going to do? Better safe than sorry. Exactly. We don't need home runs with OMA. We do base hits, guys. Base hits. That's all we're doing is base hits. And waiting. So that was a bit of fun. We're having a good start to the day. It's more eventful than I thought it would be. I think silver guys you could see a huge down day in silver, kind of like this. Look. I don't think the move is anywhere near over today in silver, so we can still catch a massive chunk of this. We just got to regroup. You see how silver does this kind of stuff? Where this move here, right, goes from all the way down here, closes up here, and then just tanks. I think we're going to see one of these where you go from here. This is the daily chart up. Now today, I think we could tank, especially if bonds keep, if bonds keep dropping. So now, let's just wait. I'm going to just keep monitoring. I'm not going to get emotional about any of these markets, even though that's when you can get emotional, is when you, like, I had this read on silver from the start of the day when I uploaded the video to the members area. I said, guys, silver looks great for a short. But it was the one on the list for if you're going to swing trade, silver wasn't a bad one today. And basically I was just tagging on silver. I was just using the OMA extension level here from yesterday. For those of you who didn't see, those pink dots coming across here, those are daily extension levels. So just bring them over to today. And I thought that would continue to distribute price distribution. And it did. And I think it still will. So I think we can just relax. When I say we, I mean me. I got to calm the F down. Kidding. I'm just having fun, guys. Got to be a little entertaining. Even if we made we make money here pretty much consistently. I think Steve, realistically on the stream, no joke, go back and look at the archives. Have we had one losing day in the last 3 weeks or something? I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that's pretty good. And Steve's my independent auditor. Because I swear to God, I have no idea who he is. He's just some nice guy in Utah who started learning my Owings market analysis, and he fucking gets it. He's kicking ass. All right. So let's just take a look here. It's going to be choppy here because that was a weird announcement. I want to find out what that was, why it moved the market, so we can have a little bit of a basis of understanding as we plug it into our technicals here with OMA. And here you can see with the ES, yeah, you've got a nice resistance level up in here, but you also have some temporary support here. I think you're going to see some chop here, but definitely that was I don't know. We could, we'll see. That might have taken out a lot of inventory up there. That's why I said be careful today with indices, because we're squeezing a little bit too much squeezy-deezy. And when that happens, you can just start to roll over and everybody's on the wrong side. So that's why I'm just exercising caution on the indices. Okay, so yeah, in the last 3 weeks, I've had 1 losing day. Steve's had 3. That's still not bad. I mean, I don't know. It's not going to be like that all the time, but it kind of is. I mean, look, I'll have a losing week from time to time, let alone losing days, obviously, of course. But just my main focus is managing risk. Last year, I had 1 losing month last year. I just don't remember. It wasn't by much. I managed the risk, well. Anyways, anything I've done in the past doesn't mean shit. The only thing that matters is what we're doing here every single day, calling it live, so you can actually go back and watch the archives of the analysis and the calls. That's, anybody can, we're doing it here live as it's happening, trading the hard right edge, and I think that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where if it works, then you should be able to show it time and again, and that's what we're doing. All right, so NASDAQ, you got a nice little short pattern here. Probably headed back down here. Like I said, I don't really trust indices right now. Let's look at the Russell. Was the one that just looked way too overextended. It kind of looked like the silver of the indices up in here. So I think the Russ, I'll keep an eye on the Russ, because if this 15-minute wants to jump back up here to the daily near high, which the Russell can do sometimes, the Russell can just, you can see, like, guys, I'm just looking at the true average across all these charts, right? So here's the Russell hourly. True average up here around 2001. A Space Odyssey, kind of up in this pocket here. So, I could be open to shorting. I'm not going to put an order or anything, but we'll keep an eye on it, because the Russell should be the one that comes back down to earth fastest as these higher rates kick in and they got to refinance 1.8 trillion in debt, and 40% of those companies are already not profitable. Not a good situation for the Russell, which means we want to short. All right, so the 10-year, I think it's going to be choppy, and the reason is, this is why I took away my order, guys, because when you've seen these patterns repeat, that's the key, right? It's pattern recognition. OMA is just my way of using my formulas and all my stuff to recognize patterns, right? And when you see these patterns, over and over and over again, and you've got the framework that I teach in the course with the types of trading, the logical progression from congestion to trend reversal, and you're using all the higher time periods and connecting them all. You put all that together, and you can kind of just get a sense of, not a sense, I mean, you have hard and fast rules for stuff, but then also like this one here on the 10-year, for example, the reason I'm not buying, the reason I pulled my order on the ultra bonds at the true average is because we closed all the way back down here, and the formation of this near low, this blue line here, this is giving me information. When this closes down hard like that, it often means there's support here that could push us back higher than you think. So I don't know if that's going to happen for sure, but I know with my experience, when I see that, I'm like, I think a lot of the juice has already been pulled out of the fruit there on that drop. Let's let it reset and see what we want to do, right? That's important. So let's look at the 30-year. Yeah, so this is, it's Chop City, but navigating it well, and just going to continue to. Right now, I'm looking at the Russell, because that looks pretty darn overextended. Look, silver's back to 65. Great. I hope all these pop again. Yep, Steve said it at the same time. Exactly. Silver's back to 65. We got to let these settle here. Oh, we got stock market opening trade coming up, 9:30. And I'm going to be, based on those hourly patterns, because you always want to look at, one of the tricks that I do heading into these news announcements is I'm always looking at what is the hourly pattern telling me, heading into that news announcement. So for the stock market open, right, let's go ahead and look at whatever you guys want. Let's look at NQ. So we look at NQ, I'm always looking, obviously, at, you know, monthly, weekly, daily, all that stuff, but that goes without saying. But I'm always looking heading into the open, what type of situation with OMA, what type of trading am I in here on the hourly, right? Do I have a pattern? You know, what is this hourly telling me about all other things being equal, about the direction that, you know, is more likely to happen at the open? And that's how I have, like, you know, pretty good read. If you go back and look in the video archives, you know, pretty good track record in terms of like on news announcements and stock market opening. Pretty good at picking the direction and kind of the levels that it should stall out at. And the reason for that is just, again, I'm just applying the OMA hourly pattern to, you know, what I'm seeing at the open. Oh, and I got an email from somebody and they were like, you know, why do I have to buy your course? I was like, look, I give away so much. Like, if for those of you who don't want to buy a course, you don't want to spend the money, whatever, I get it. Everybody's different. Some people don't have money. I give so much value on this stream that over time, if you were to go back and watch every live stream, like religiously, take notes, like, and spend, I don't know, a year or two trying to figure everything out, you'd probably, you know, figure out a lot of what I do. The course is just there if you're like Steve and you want to figure, you know, have it spoon fed to you and learn a lot more that I don't talk about out here. But then you'll be making money from it within 2 weeks. So it seems kind of like, you know, that's what I tried to explain to the person who wrote me the email. I was like, look, if you can't afford it or whatever, like, just, that's why I'm doing YouTube. You can figure a lot out. It's just going to take you a lot longer, because with the course and with mentorship, it goes much faster. And Steve can attest. So can Crude Oil Trader. I don't know where he is. I got to talk to Crude Oil Trader. He's still dominating on the crude oil markets. He's got to do a video testimonial for me too. Nice. So Steve, you're up 750 for today. Way to go, my man. Kicking ass. All right. So yeah, you see, this is another thing too, guys. Like, when you have this strong support with OMA, strong resistance, I can see that here. This is the Dow, but it's a good example. It just means, like, be very, very careful here. Let's see for the open. We got the open. We're having a good day. Good start to the day. Let's see what we got for the open. Let's go look at... We'll look at... What do you guys want to look at? You want to look at ES, NQ... I do like the Russell. I don't usually trade the Russell because it just has a tendency to piss me off. Let's do ES or NQ at the open. Let's go to ES. Kind of a crowd favorite, ES and NQ. I like the NQ too, but when I'm trying to trade it on the open in front of you guys, like, the DOM is just, you know how the NQ DOM is. It's fucking nuts. Here's ES. Let's see if we plan a little for the open and where we might be going. So here's a quarterly chart for the ES. If you're wondering why we just had a lot of resistance on whatever caused that spike, which I think was a CPI revision, but I need to check zero hedge premium to verify that. We'll check what rocked the markets here in a moment. So you see this is a quarterly chart, guys, of the E-mini S&P 500. Each one of these black price bars is 3 months. So this is 3 monthly bars squished into one quarterly bar, right? And we're zooming in like candlesticks. You guys would look at a wider view. With OMA, we zoom in. It's like a telescope, right? We're like Galileo. We actually want to know what's going on and then trade it and make money. So here, with that quarterly trend line, guys, this is a big deal. That's coming in right at, you know, I want to say 45, right? So this was, remember when we exploited the NASDAQ again and again and again, because on the NASDAQ, we had that yearly trend line at 17,776. It eventually broke through, but how many hits did we have on that trend line before it broke? Several. So this is a really powerful trend line here on the ES quarterly chart, and we just went up and smacked right into that on the back of this crazy unexpected news announcement here. So that quarterly, this is the hourly now. Just imagine that quarterly trend line is coming across right here. I always do red and resistance, blue and support, okay? So we've got a lot of resistance now up there. And you've also on the daily, you see these yellow dots coming across here, guys? right here. This is the daily right here. Boom. That's a powerful level there. And you're inside the pocket. Got some good stuff up here for resistance on the daily as well. So we got strong resistance on the daily. We're a little overextended. A lot of people might have, been sucked into going long up here, and now they might have to bail and have it roll over. I think for the open here, we got to be looking at the 4 hour, trying to get a level for us guys like I do every day. On the this is the 4 hour chart. I think we're probably headed back down to like, I think we're headed down here. So I might take a shot on the open 50, 30. Four maybe 50 34. We'll see as we get closer. We still got 14 minutes, but this is what I'm going to be looking to potentially pick off for a short, which on the hourly is nice because you can see on the hourly you've got the true average popping in here. My beautiful wife taking our little daughter for a walk. Nice snowy day here in Sweden. So 50 34 kind of up in here. Yeah, so then what I would do is once we're already working with, this is the 15-minute chart, you guys, right? So the 15-minute bar chart, each 15-minute, right? So candlesticks, again, I got to always repeat this, guys, so you really see what I'm talking about. Candlesticks are here. No, that's the 5-minute, the candlestick. So here, you guys. You guys are used to like really zooming out, I think, those of you who like candlesticks. This is like, you're way back, like looking for your double tops and stuff. So we're just like, this is an hourly candlestick. We're just zooming in. You see how like there's that hourly bar, but you see how with our magnifying glass, we're right in on it. How we trade here, just so you understand like what we're looking at. So here on the 15-minute, right, we want to ask ourselves if 50 34, because remember, do you guys remember, was it yesterday I called, the level was 53 on the NASDAQ. I didn't get short because it just kind of happened too quickly, but the level itself turned out to be, pretty darn good. So let's see if today's level is going to be good too. On the 15-minute, don't really have anything up there, but I like that 50 34 level. We're going to keep an eye on that for the ES to potentially try and short at the open. All right. So we're going to watch that. In the meantime, Steve, we got to do maybe do a video this weekend or something just on all the live streams and Elite and stuff. Do a total sum of like just all your profit and loss since, taking the course and following the calls and all that kind of stuff, because I don't think that's, I think that takes a while for people to understand that. Like, it's one thing to like make a little bit of money sometimes and, do thumbnails and, oh, I made like, this much money today. But it's another thing to just be steady as she goes week after week after week after week. And Steve, have we been doing this now 4 weeks, or this is probably the end of our 4th week. Maybe, I can't really remember, but I've had COVID the last 2 weeks, which have kind of really slowed me down, but we've been getting through it. I think it's been 4 weeks, and, the live streaming is off to, what I like about the live streaming is that the videos are all there, like verifying. Yeah, 4 weeks. I think this is the end of our 4th week, and it's a absolutely stellar start. I didn't expect to only have like, I think in the last 3 weeks, there's been 1 losing day, but I think in 4 weeks, maybe 2 losing days. I didn't expect that. That's pretty darn good, but I am conservative in how I'm picking, my spots because, well, I want to make money and keep my draws low, but also when you're out here on YouTube representing that you have a methodology that works, you better show that your methodology works, and that's what we're doing. All right, so let me go refill some coffee, guys. It's 9:19. Market's going to open here in about 10 minutes, and we will see if we can pick off a good trade Because I think the ES, I think we could go back. It could be fireworky. Like if we're willing to take a little bit of risk, I think we could maybe get short, like on a pop into 34, you know, hold it down to 22, 24, maybe make $500 or $600, which would be nice. That's what I'm going to be looking for. All right, but we'll come back. I want to look at bonds and the dollar and everything else. So silver's back to 61. Yeah, so that, look at silver. We don't want to forget about silver. There's so many good markets. Oh, that was the pullback right there on the 15-minute chart. Damn it. That's what I would want on silver. Missed that. Tough when you're watching everything. That would have been beautiful. At some point, I will, once we have a big enough team together, it will be nice to have different people on different markets that I can just say, like, especially those taking the course, I'll tell you exactly what situation that I'm looking for. And then when somebody sees it, somebody can be like, guys, go look at silver now, you know, that situation is happening. Because that would have been a great spot to get short silver up there, about 64. But like I said, I think it's going to drop all day. So we're going to have opportunities, but these are what we want. We want these pullbacks in silver. We want to get short. Let's look at platinum. We're going to do our opening range trade soon. Yeah, platinum's collapsing. Pretty nice hourly. Yeah, 886 on platinum was a good short there. Just a lot to kind of focus on at the moment. I think platinum. Well, let me get my coffee and we'll just focus on ES at the open. Platinum, some good resistance into 886 for those who want to try and get short up there. I don't have time to watch it right now. Silver, man, we needed to be short. Look, it's 56.5 now. See, we needed to be short from 64 here on silver. We might just trade after ES. You know, we'll keep scrolling through, but we might just, we're gonna have to really pay a lot of attention to silver today. I don't want to miss this type of setup again. This was a miss. We should be short here, Steve. All right, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, I didn't have time for coffee. I got some chocolate instead. Just rock and roll. All right, so, oh, silver. I can't even look at it. It's breaking my heart. I seriously need like a lot more screens so I can, like, because there are hot markets, you know, when I'm sitting here trying to show you guys on one screen and we're flipping back and forth, I need to just have them up on like different screens so I know I don't miss these types of pullbacks. This is just textbook OMA here. All right, let's go back. I think silver is going to go down all day. But this was a good spot to jump on the wagon up here at the envelope top on the daily. You you know, that's it right there, just 64 down to 54. That's a quick $500 on silver, you know? So, 4 hours just collapsing. Look at the 4 hour here. Well, it's nice to know that the analysis was just great. And we're still capitalizing. It's fine. Not going to complain when we're making money. But when you see a drop like that and you're like, you knew that was going to, well, you never know for sure, but we knew it had a high probability of dropping. Oh, so ES is already dropping. What was that news? I think that's just what threw us off today, was just kind of just, it all happened so fast. What was it? Just looking at the news. Yeah, here. It was the BLS releases revised CPI data. I knew that was coming, but it wasn't on my calendar. Look, guys, this was it. BLS releases revised CPI data. So that's why that happened. So I'm going to have to get a new fucking calendar that actually tells me when these subtle things are coming out. Because I knew I had read about that, and I'm like, but I wasn't seeing it on my calendar. I'm like, that's what caused all these markets to get whacked. Let's see. The annual revision to the Bureau of Labor and Bullshit Seasonal Adjustment Factors. Core CPI. Let's see what came out. Something happened. So they're saying there were virtually no changes between, like, the revised data showed nothing. There was nothing big in there. It just caused a ramp and a dump. All right. Well, focus. The day is long. So ES here. I mean, 50.32. I think I'm going to look to get short up into 50.32 because you've got on the you got the hourly true average up there, and on the 15-minute you do have that nice extension there. So I'd be looking for a punch up, sell into that, and then a reversal, you know, back down to these lows. Try and maybe make 10 points. And if it fills me at 32 and I see strength, you know, I would try and only risk, you know, 2 or 3 points. So let's watch this together. What do we have for, oh, we got the Wolf of Wall Street on? No, he's off. I turned him off. I got a delay. Yeah, you guys aren't watching the Wolf. Okay, good. Let's do a latency check, Steve. Right now it's 9:28 and 30 seconds. Guys, that is a 20 handles up, 20 handles straight back down. I think we're headed to the low 5,000s. So if we could maybe catch a short up in here, that would be nice. Okay, so I'm going to do a time 9:29 and 5 seconds. I'll tell you when it's 9:29 and 30 seconds so you guys know how much latency you have. We're going to look to get short at 50.32. No idea if it'll get back up there or not. I just know not chasing it. So the energy is definitely very down at this point. Okay, that's 9:29, 30 seconds. Boom. So you guys know what you got for latency. $9:29 and 45 seconds now. All right. So 5, 3, 2, open. So 32 is kind of where I'm looking. I'm setting an order up there at 32. I doubt we'll get there, but you never know. That's where I want to be short from. Let's check the NASDAQ too, because the NASDAQ sometimes will give us a nice spot to get in at. My order's in at 32 for ES. You know, for the NASDAQ, you got a nice level up into it's a little high. I like the ES level better. See what bonds are doing. I got my ES order in, guys, because probably not gonna head back up there, but if it does, I like it. So bonds are tanking. That was okay. So we got confirmation there on the bonds. Silver tanking nicely. So silver, we just don't want to miss another pop to get short silver. I hope it pops some more. Really, because this could be the gift that gives all day, guys. This 15-minute chart on silver, it could just trend down in a channel all day. Just short, cover for $500. Short, cover for $500. Like, we could milk this cow all day. Platinum. Yeah, platinum. See, they all, that's the thing, they all set up at the same time. So it was kind of hard today because that news just rocked everything right at once. So taking away my order, but we'll go back and look at so the dollar's getting stronger here. Let's go back. Let's look at the Russell. I want to look at that as well. So basically, kind of any pop I'd like to get short. The NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, I'm interested. Look at the NASDAQ. In here somewhere, like if the NASDAQ gets back to like 40, I'd be interested. ES is back to 21, so if the ES could get up to 32 is our level. A lot of volatility today, so still interested in ES at 32. I think it's going to be real choppy, you guys. So if we get a punch up into resistance there around 30, 31, 32 for ES, I think it's a pretty good short or move back down. Silver, we're going to keep an eye on. We're at 51 now. I don't want to get a pop back up to 60. Keep an eye on ES for now because good volatility at the open. All right. So we're just waiting for the ES to kind of come to us, guys. 32 would be awesome. Where I'm looking to get short. Let's go. While I'll leave the ES DOM up so we can, you know, keep an eye on that. So if we get up close to 30, so here's the Ultra Bond. I think stocks are going down today, guys, because bonds are going to break these lows and keep going. Rates are going to keep going up. Stocks are just. I think that pop right there was to maybe suck in some longs, and now those longs are going to have to bail. And probably as this dip keeps dipping, there's going to be people stepping in to buy because they don't realize how overextended we are. And I think we're just going to keep chewing through those orders and keep dropping. So if we can get a short up here on ES, I might be wrong, but that's my analysis as it stands right now. So that's bonds. Let's look at silver's back to 57. Okay, good. If silver can give us a nice little spike back up in here, let's keep an eye on this. We're going to wait for the 15-minute close, but we want to get short up in here somewhere. If silver can, because right now we do have a kind of a weak dollar, which could be good because it could keep silver from dropping too fast, which we want, right? We want silver to decline slowly so we can just make these kinds of moves right there. 10 cents at a time, guys. That's a nice move on silver. So ES is at 23 right now. We're just kind of waiting. NQ is at 884. Platinum we're waiting for. Yeah, so the euro's getting above 108 now against the dollar, which is good. That might cause silver to punch up here. So let's not miss this, Steve. If you can bring up, Steve, we're gonna have to get you some more screens. If you can bring up a 15-minute chart and just wait and just tell me if we get up here, that'd be great. But it's basically the 2265 level or higher. Let's look at the back to ES. So we're waiting for silver. See what we can get. Let's see ES. ES was trying to get up there, but it got kind of shut down so far. But I don't know. I'm waiting, because if it goes up there, that would be great. Great spot to short. Look at the 4-hour chart, huh? There's a lot of damage done to a lot of accounts on that BLS thing, because every single major market just did a massive spike in reversal. So I'm happy we came out of that with some profit, although it could have been a lot more had I focused a little better on silver there, but could have let bonds run a little more. But you know, nothing's perfect in trading, guys. Just gotta do your best. And when the market gets a little crazy, sometimes I like to take a step back and go, you know, process it instead of trading with emotion. And the first entry I took with silver was a bit emotional, which is why I got kind of a bad entry and then exited when I should have just waited to short the top. But you live and you learn. It's not every day you see, you know, a huge move like that across bonds, silver, gold. I mean, that was like an NFP move, right, on the back of that BLS thing. Okay, thanks, Steve. Roger that. I'm just gonna keep trading one account at a time today, and you know, see what happens. And hopefully this weekend I can get a lot of sleep so I can come back into next week. It'll be the first week in 2 weeks I feel rested, hopefully. Then I can link up all the challenge accounts and just start absolutely dominating. But I don't want to take lots and lots of risk until I'm very well rested. That's why I'm doing one account at a time right now, unless I see an absolute home run. All right, so it's 939. Where are we at with silver? 62. It's not bad. Bonds are firmly below 126. The ultra bond, that's nice. Ah, man, I love this. I love trading. Best job in the world. Waiting for a pop. Look at silver. ES is not really getting up there yet. I think silver might be. We did put in some temporary support on silver, so we got to be a little careful. You see how we went down to the. But I still think we want to go further. Certainly a pop up here would be fantastic to short, because I think the 15-minute will want to stay in congestion for a while, so we can try and play the range on silver. All right, so it's 940. We're going to look at, all these markets are pretty correlated right now. Let's look at platinum. Platinum was a good short there at 886 at the close of the hourly, but missed it because we too many things to focus on. When everything's moving at once like that, that's what's tough. Like, just kind of like, you can only watch one thing at a time. Copper heading lower, but a good entry there. Gold. Look at gold. Look at gold, you guys. So I think my favorites for 945, which is coming up here in a couple minutes, is if we can get a silver short, or ultra bonds aren't rallying yet. Silver I'm kind of interested in up here. Doesn't look, I mean, ES, if we got a quick pop up to like 32, yeah, I would short up there. So we'll keep ES on the DOM, but silver I'm just hoping we get a, I mean, if we get a pop up here, it's going to be fantastic to go short silver. The higher the better on silver. Chocolate, it's the 85% lint. You know, it's weird. I love the 90% way more. This is like almost too sweet. Crazy day so far today, guys. I don't know what I've been seeing, so we're doing good, just making money and keeping our risk low. Man, these last couple of days in Sweden have been beautiful. It's like snowy and actually relatively clear sky. Can't wait till I feel better so I can go out and enjoy it. Yes, is right now silver is kind of the one. We can get a pop back up here. I think it may stay in this range. All right, I'm going to flip the DOM to silver. And somebody keep an eye, Steve or somebody else in the chat. Just let me know if I don't notice that ES goes back to 5,032. Let me know. Bro, we got to grow the chat. This is interactive. I'm telling you guys, and then we need like one guy on each market, you know. See, the hourly is in congestion now, so the 15 I think should stay in congestion too. So if the hourly can, if this 15 can punch up, you know, toward the hourly envelope top up here, that'd be awesome. But it may not get there. It may just be 15 envelope top. We'll see. I'd like it to go a little higher. We got 30 seconds left here. $20 seconds. Just watching and waiting. I'd like it to push a little higher. Oh man, what a shit fill. You guys see that? I tried to hit the short at 64. and it just slipped down to 63 so fast. Be nice if we get a quick 10 cents. That would be 500 bucks. Just watching the scoreboard, guys, while we're short silver. See? Oh, look at that. This is what silver does. Oh, you just so happily short silver. I was just thinking, like, should I take off 150 and then re-short at the entry? This is what silver does, you guys. You see that? It's like you're short and it's like it's going down and then we're short. We're staying short. But man, silver will just put you through the ringer. That was really funny. Look, and then just bang, straight down. You guys see that? This is why silver is like, it's a wacky one. Trying to give ourselves a little bit of a chance. A lot of volatility today. Look at this. And the fill, I should be short from 64. That was just such a... I've noticed there's quite a delay on these fills, you guys. It's not like live at all. I don't know if it's Quant Tower, Rhythmic, Apex, but on a live account, man, it's bang. This is like you click the button, it delays. We can still exploit the system, but just something to be aware of. I'm just looking for a little bit of a snap down to like, 53 or so. Right there, I was like, should I just take off 175 and re-short again at 63? It's like, here we go. God. Oh, man. Taking a look at stuff across the board. Just fucking drop already, so. Being quiet, guys, because I'm just monitoring this. Like this one that we missed, that was the one. It just went, it dropped so nice and fast. Whereas this one's just, you know, just fucking around. There's a lot of support here on the 4-hour chart. So I'm just trying to get a little bit of a drop to make a little bit on this. Dude, I have to cut this thing soon. It's really, this is silver, man. There's a lot of support here temporarily at 60. I can see it on the 4-hourly chart, the daily chart. So I'm just trying to get a little bit of a snap down into the 50s to take a little bit of profit if we can. I'm cutting out a break even, guys. This is, we gave it a really good chance. Look at the 4-hour chart. You're sucking up out of all that support. So it may still drop, but there's Quant Tower. These are the ones we want. Here, boom, boom. We don't want these ones when we're short. And it's like, no. It's like, you know what? Greener pastures. A couple times I was like, should I take the 175 off the table? Nah. Still a good day. We're going to keep at it. Tough day, you guys. Look at the price action. Very, very difficult. And we're trading it very well. Let's just stay patient. Silver might drop, but there's a lot of support there now too, and we have a huge outside bar on the 4-hourly chart. So I think today is going to be a nasty day, you guys. Let's look at the 4-hourly charts across all the asset classes to see what we've got shaping up for 10 o'clock. It's a shame we missed that first silver short that we missed for that good 10 cents. Those are the quick 5 hundies you want. Just one contract, bang. Like this silver now is like, you know, this is why silver will put you through hell. Don't trade it unless you can really, you got to have some emotional capital to be able to get really fucking pissed off at silver. It's like one of those markets. It either delivers you like an amazing, fast, big win, or it just drives you nuts. That's why with silver, when it starts, that's why I got out of that trade that was correct earlier. When it starts to go against you, I'm like, I know not to hang on to silver when it's going against you. It's just not smart. All right, let's look and see what we got here. We got to regroup. I got to get silver off the DOM before I fucking punch it. I'm fired up today, you guys, in a good way. This is what to me, trading is like, I used to be an athlete, you know? This is very sporting to me. You know? It's like playing a sport. Let's look at the ultra bonds. Steve said they're pulling back. Yeah, they look weak. I mean, look at this. So let's just, I want to quickly just, this will give us a good read on 10 a.m. because that's when these 4-hourly bars are going to close. We can get a good sense of what's going on, you guys. Aside from the fact that I'm pretty sure most people are fucked today on this price action, and Thankfully, we're not. If all we come away with today is a small profit, right now we're up 550 or something, that's fine. But, you know, that silver could have quickly punched it to like $1,000. This is the kind of stuff we want. So here on ES, I mean, the 4 hourly here, this is just a nightmare. It's just an absolute nightmare. I think you're going to just see a disaster here. I think you're going to see some really wacky price action. So I would avoid the indices like the plague right now, you guys. Be very careful. The 4 hourly is a mess after that BLS situation. It's really kind of difficult to know what to make after that right there. Look at the Dow and the Russell. Wow, look at the Dow, you guys. Look at that, guys. 39,000 almost to, I mean, that's a, but see, you get the Dow doing this. Meanwhile, the Russell, I mean, it's just, this is what I'm seeing lately. There's just a lot of wonkiness because stuff that used to give you, you know, tip you off, there are new correlations are forming right now. And it's because we're heading into the recession trade and we're heading into the everybody's who's long and holding is going to get fucked trade. That's an official term, you guys. And my nephew, if you're listening to the stream, earmuffs, buddy. All right. He likes to watch it on replay afterwards. He's like 11 years old. He's going to be a fucking trading genius. Okay, so here's the Russell. Yeah, this is just a disaster. Look at 10-year Treasury. Looks like I mean, the 10-year looks like it's trying to break through some key levels here. But it's still, look at that big outside bar. Guys, when you get a big outside bar like that on the 4 hourly chart, you just got to be extra careful. Let's look at the 30-year bonds. I mean, this is wacky. Yeah, all the majors. Let's look at gold. See the 4 hours. So gold is at least trying to break through its lows there. Silver. I mean, silver is still, I like, if we can punch up here a little bit on silver. But this 4 hour needs to get, it needs to punch up higher. Because you don't want to be down in this support here. This is why that short made me nervous. For some reason, gold is breaking down. I don't know. See, you almost got an outside bar here on silver. You could be having a little bit of a pullback here on the hourly silver. We'll just see. We'll have to see where silver's at. Let's look at copper. Copper's just collapsing. Platinum. All your big losses come from silver. Yeah, it's a beast. It's a tough contract. Not for the faint of heart. If I have like a situation like I do today on silver where it's kind of pissing me off, I try to stay away from it because silver will just aggravate you guys. I don't know why it is, but it just will. It's a weird market. Here's crude. I mean, we're looking for pullbacks. Let's go. We were interested in potentially wheat. Wonder how the grains, guys. Remember what we said about being long wheat today? That was a good call, huh? But no opportunity to trade it. But that was because we had this nice OMA support situation here. I'm gonna have to start just putting on the trades and just letting them go the whole day. I've been hesitating because Apex has that trailing draw, but maybe after our Apex experiment, we'll treat them differently. Like once we pass all these Apex things, we'll use them for this kind of active trading where you got to manage the stops. And then for like more, not swing trading because you can't hold overnight, but for these kind of trades where you want to put them on at the beginning of the day on London when I do my video for the elite members area and then let them run, I think I'm going to use some top step accounts for that. Because like wheat today, I said wheat, you know, is a good buy. And so then it's just better to just put the order on and let it go. So we'll learn how to exploit these challenges. Gold Soybeans, we said short. See how that's hanging out. You got a little bit of a potentially good short pattern there on soybeans. I'm just hesitant to trade soybeans because I don't trade them very often. I need to understand them better before I trade them. But you certainly have some resistance here on soybeans. And they can move, like they move really weird. Can we check out soybeans real quick, you guys? What's the symbol for it? It's ZSH. Bring it up on the dollar. So here's soybeans. A short one, soybeans. I mean, soybeans can get crazy. I don't know, what is soybeans is $50 a point. It's kind of like ES. It's been so long since I traded the grains. Might regret this, but we might not. Let's see. I'm on soybeans, light my fire. Soybeans is kind of market. If you get it right, like from the little bit I've traded in the past, you're wrong fast, and if you're right fast. So hopefully this fucker can just collapse while we're at least short one. We'll learn something here. While the other markets are kind of crazy, we're short soybeans. We're going to learn something. OMA works on, all the markets. It's just when I'm actually trading them, the price action obviously is different. Like silver, we just talked about. Soybeans is different. And you start to learn their personality traits for each market. I don't want to miss anything else while we're experimenting with soybeans, so. On Quant Tower, if I right click, will it put in a stop for me? I'm not sure how that works. Copper, Steve? Copper looks like it could have a relief rally. Potentially. So how does Trade Evade work? If you like right now with Quant Tower, since I didn't put a stop in on the trade, if since I'm short, right? If I right click here, will it put the stop in? Okay. Should we try it? I just don't want it to take me out of the position. Now right click didn't do anything. Maybe here, but I shorted, so it shouldn't really. I don't know. I'll have to research the Quant Tower. The Quant Tower is new to me. Because what I'd like to do is just kind of put my stop at break even and just see if we get lucky on a big drop here. Because soybeans sometimes can just drop. I don't need to sit and stare at it, but I want to have a stop in. Just looking for a move down here. And guys, the grains, I got to pay more attention because, a lot like silver's a tough market to trade. We still trade it well, everything's fine. But like some of these other markets where there aren't as many algos involved, I think are, can be better overall to trade. It's a little more pure. I'm pretty sure the way Quant Tower works now, like if I was to, click here with the left, not really this limit. I want to stop, right? So it's really strange. I don't know. I'll figure out Quant Tower. Oh, Jazu, I missed your comment. Sorry, my friend. You said just looking at the chat. Hey, Jazu, I missed your comment. Hope you're well, my friend. We had a lot of crazy volatility on the back of the BLS revised inflation statistics, I believe it was. Yeah, revised CPI data. Anyways, we're doing all right. We're making some money. Could be up a lot more. Just missed silver shorting at the high of the day, but it was very volatile. So right now I'm happy to be up, you know, $500-600, and if we can get lucky and get a little bit of snap to the downside here on soybeans, that would help us. Silver, we could have got lucky, you know, a little bit of a snap to the downside. Yeah, I'm not sure how this works in terms of the stop. I have to figure it out. Silver's at 66. I just like to try and put myself in a good position, and then like sometimes a market like soybeans, you know, or silver, like sometimes you just put yourself in the right position and bang, it'll just snap. I don't like sitting in positions for a long time. All right, I'm closing that at break even. Might drop, but I need to understand soybeans better. Go look at the normal markets. Yeah, look at ES, you guys. Wow. Very strange. NQ. You see, I cut a lot of trades, guys, at break even, but that's the name of the game, you know, manage the risk. Silver's at 67 right now, 67 and a half. So, you know, I like to get in, give myself a chance. If it goes my way, make some money. If it starts kind of going against me, because I'm trying to pick very key levels, right? So it just doesn't mean that that level is going to be right every time. But if I pick a key level and it is right, there'll be some other big sellers or buyers, you know, that I like to see kind of moving it, you know, pretty quickly. Just to explain my logic. So NASDAQ, I mean, look at the Dow. The Dow looks like you almost have a reversal for a move back up. Here's the Dow. Try and get long the Dow at 38,745. You know, before I do that, let's I need to put a stop loss here so I can 50 points is good. Let's see. Try and get long the Dow here. 38,745. Tried. Come on, Dow. $726 could go down there. Maybe two. Dow's another kind of tricky son of a gun. It likes to come back. 728. Do 729 on the Dow. We're trying to get long the Dow. 38,729. Yeah, so soybeans are at 89. So, you know, it's kind of, we shorted at like 90 and a half or something. I got to read through soybeans, guys, before I trade them. Silver's back to 69. I got the order in the Dow down there at 38,729. See what happens there. Go look at ES. We're back to 50.25. Ultra bonds. Range. How kind of selling come in? Now let's even put our low. Let's put our move it to 16. See how the Dow does. Go look at platinum. Like I'm trying to get long the Dow, guys, at 38,716. Platinum's got a little bit of a exhaust to the downside here, that's for sure. I don't know if I'd want to go against. Could be interesting. It is kind of F it Fridays. Let's get out of the Dow. Let's go back to platinum. Platinum could have a lot of support down here. Keep an eye on the Dow as well. 38,771 we're at. I think there's going to be some support here on platinum. Question is, have we made the low of the day? Kind of tempted to go long a counter trend. 0805 on the euro. Dow 38,763. Silver's at 67. We're coming up on another close here. Navigating it well. Hourly chart here. Let's put our so here's silver again. There's some resistance here on silver for sure. I just I think I have to leave it alone just based on where we are in the 4-hourly structure. We're not in the right space. Copper. Like I said, I think copper and platinum could have counter trend rallies now because of what we're seeing. That's why I was like, okay, should I maybe get long a little bit of platinum? I Could have a little bit of a rally here. The Dow I'm looking at, we're at 38,750. I'm kind of interested on the Dow below, or right around the daily lows down there. I'm keeping an eye on that. Soybeans are kind of dropping a little bit. Bonds are trying to stabilize here. That 4-hour chart on the bonds just looks like they want to go lower, but we might need to pop a little. Go back to the Dow. So keep an eye on the Dow down here. I don't have an order in on the Dow anymore. Let's watch it because I'm kind of interested. The 4 hours got a lot of support down here around the lows at 38,720. The hourly's got some support there too. So let's see how the 15-minute. I don't have an order in, guys, so let's just watch and see. You know, down here could be a good spot to get long. 38,690. I just want to see if the 15-minute wants to try and exhaust down there. Just doesn't look to me like the Dow wants to just totally fall out of bed today. It looks more like it wants to be a wacky mean reversion day. So if we can try and get long the lower end of the range, kind of what I'm interested in. So I want to see maybe get long the Dow down here, but I want to see it flush the lows first, because you can already see on the price action here with OMA the fact that it, you know, took out the lower day here and now we're up and leaking back down. I don't think it got the stops it needs to fuel the move back to the upside. So I'm interested in getting long down here where I think a lot of the stops are currently sitting. And the soybeans, we went short at yeah, they're at 84 now, so they're moving. We shorted at 90. I'm gonna read up on soybeans this weekend, you guys. I got a good book from my mentor on that. And today, I think, you know, we're having a good day so far. Up on some trades, putting ourselves in, you know, good positions, managing it well. I mean, guys, today's a day. Can you imagine, just, you always got to look at like what could happen. I mean, just look at the indices. I mean, that volatility that came in on the back of that BLS revision that kind of wasn't on the main calendar. I knew it was coming, but I didn't realize it was at 8:30, and then bang. I think a lot of people, you know, there were probably some accounts blown there by some unfortunate people. I'm happy that we navigated it with finesse. Now we just continue to stay on the right side of this market. Look at the bonds. I mean, the reason, guys, if you wonder why, you say, Andy, why are you being so conservative right now? We have a huge, let me show you. You know, I'll bring this up for you guys so you can actually see. Let's go to Zero Hedge Premium. I don't think Zero Hedge Premium will mind if I show sometimes. Just find this. One second. The options market is nuts right now. Don't even get me started in that. We could see Volmageddon big time. That's coming. But look, I want to show you a very simple chart. We're waiting for the Dow anyway. Let's go back. Waiting for the Dow. Oh, there goes the Dow. Okay, we don't want to miss this. Watch the Dow. Down in here, 38,690 is kind of where I'm interested in. That would give us a pretty low risk entry. I know I'm going to order in, but I'm watching it. I'm trying to find this this one chart from the market here. We're waiting for the Dow. Hold on, I'll find this article. There's so many good articles, but I'm just going to find the one that's very relevant, which is why we're seeing all this craziness right now. Here we go. Guys, this is the 10-year yield and the NASDAQ. You see how they're diverging big time? Whenever you get these big divergences, you get some wacky stuff going on. So when that wacky stuff goes on, you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happening. And when you can know that in advance, then you just know, like, okay, I'm just not going to take, you know, as much crazy risk, right? So with that said, we're handling it very well. Soybeans are at 11.85, so that's good. I'm going to keep an eye on that trade, even though I shorted it and got out at break even because I just didn't want to be in soybeans, but probably was a good read as usual. Now here on the Dow, the reason I like potentially longing is because I don't think stocks are going to totally shit the bed today. We'll see, but I don't think so. I think there's going to be a lot more volatility, and because we're at the lower end of the range here, we've got some nice OMA daily support down here. So it's a low risk trade down here to maybe try and pick off the Dow down into that 38,690 level. That's why we're keeping an eye on it. Silver's at 2260, so it's coming down a little bit. I like that. Keep an eye on the Dow down here. Sometimes the Dow just loves to flush. Could be a lot of stops down here. I'm interested right there at 38,690. That's where I'm going to have to take a shot. If it starts to race down there, I might throw in an order. You can see it's pressing. It wants to go for those lows. So I'd be looking for them to try and flush it, get long down here, and then have that puppy suck back up, turn the corner. You know, maybe get a nice winner on the Dow. You never know where your next winner is going to come from. ES at 50.25, NASDAQ 17,956. I just don't see the Dow collapsing today. The Russell's still holding up pretty well. But this could be a good low a day type trade. You can see the low a day right there at 38,719. Watching and waiting. Got through the low a little bit, but you didn't really see the snappy, you know? You didn't see the flush. We'll keep Dow up on the DOM, waiting for the flush. Bonds are just sitting there. Silver is dropping a little. We're back down to 58, but man, silver. I like, watch the Dow. All right, I'm going to set an order, guys, at 38,690 because I need to use the restroom. So let me do that. If it gets filled down there, I'll be happy. That order's in. I just got a 50-point stop, but I'll be right back. Is we still waiting here? We're waiting to get filled the Dow. All right, we got an order to get long the Dow, 38,690. Just waiting for a little bit of a flush below these lows. See if it does it or not. A lot of support down here. Got some dark chocolate going. Getting us through the Swedish winter. 30, no major news coming out today. Except for that BLS that spooked everything at once. Oh, we got through that nicely. Our soybeans trade, yeah, should have left that on. So we've got about 5 seconds till this closes. Support there. Let's see what the 30-minute chart looks like. Could be all she wrote. But I want to get long. I want to get long below the flush. $15-minute chart again. Oh, it's a pretty nice little pattern right there. Cancel that order. Mark it here. So we tested those lows there and they held. We just kind of didn't have, you know, when you're picking off the low of the day, you're usually going to see a little bit more of a flush. We haven't seen it, which is why I'm kind of just being patient. But while we're being patient, let's look at some other stuff here. Look at ES. Steve, how you doing? You're still up nicely on the day, right? And if you're driving, don't worry about it. You don't have to respond. I don't want you to crash. I think ES is going to push here higher. It looks pretty bullish. Looks like it's holding up. I don't think we're off to the races. I just think we're supported in this wacky range. NQ here looks, yeah, look at NQ, kind of the same. So that's why I think the Dow is going to hold the lows down there. But I would like, it's like, do I get in here? Take a chance. I could. Not a horrible spot. Some support down here for sure on the Dow. I think it lower. I just gotta wait. I'm very tempted to get long here on the Dow, you guys. The Russell. Ultra bonds. I mean, bonds are just very strange right now. Everything is very choppy. Silver. So that's silver. It did tee up the short there. I don't know. This silver's. I'm not reading silver very well today. Kind of a hard market to trade. I'm reading it all right, but you know, we short, like, this is just how it goes, guys. Look at this. Missed that one, and then just, that's the one, right? Shorted there. It just had to be a little bit of a dick, and then didn't short here, and then, you know, it's just, sometimes that's how it goes, guys. You gotta just take the good with the bad. We'll find the next one. There's copper. Platinum is trying to rally off that 880 level that I talked about. You got a lot of support down in here. I think the Dow is going to rally. I know the Dow. It's like, yeah, it might rally, but gosh, I think it wants to go below. It did go below those lows, but we just didn't see any action down there. Maybe that's it. There we go. Trying. All right, we'll try and get long the Dow at 46. Ooh, see that selling coming right there on the Dow? Man, the Dow is wild. If I get long at 46, basically that support that's in right there, kind of where I'm looking to get long, that kind of needs to hold or I'm going to be out immediately. Gosh, I just think the Dow wants to go below those lows. Wait. We'll see what happens, guys, but been around the Dow too long. And you know, we're not getting a super right now. The read we're getting, which is good, which is why I'm like, I'm hesitating, because the read we're getting is that right now everything is fucking garbage. Like you can see here, look at the 4-hourly chart on bonds; they're an absolute mess. Same thing on indices. I'm just like, do I really want to like? I kind of want to put on a trade for you guys, but at the same time, what could easily be a losing day is still a decently little profitable day for us, which I'm happy about. And no need to force the issue, especially on a horrible day. Like the best days are the best trades where you're like, you can see it setting up, you're stalking it like the NASDAQ the other day, and you're just waiting to hit that hard. Like those are just, and those come. You just got to wait for them to come. Let's look at, so here's our soybeans trade. That ended up being a good call. Yeah, look, remember we shorted here at like 91. I just didn't want to hold it because I haven't traded soybeans in a long time, but the pattern on OMA was correct. We'll have to start trading some more grains. I think we can get a lot of good reads over here. So that would have been, you know, on soybeans it's $50 a point. So that would have been a nice, I don't know, $400 there, something like that. Good. And I still got to figure out how to keep track of, you know, 30 markets while streaming and all this kind of stuff. I'm getting there. I do think ES is firing up here. Even though it's a mess, it just looks like it's going to try and fire up. That's why I'm still open to taking the Dow, but I would like to see it flush below those lows. You do have ES and NQ kind of pushing higher off of that wacky price action. Here's the Russell. Very choppy. With the 10-year. The 10-year is messy, but it looks like it kind of wants to try and push higher. Looks like bonds are trying to stabilize. So while I'm going through these guys, I'm waiting to buy the Dow potentially below those lows. Looks like the 30-year and the Ultra are going to try to push a little higher. Gold, silver. So silver, yeah, you're in that range. So just some close calls today, you know. So far. Could be up a lot, only up a little. Not getting killed, happy about that. Here's copper. That's why I said there should be some support down here. There is. Let's look at platinum. I think platinum's probably going to follow the upside. But I still think overall I want to get short platinum on a balance. I gotta kind of just regroup and wait for the bigger picture here. Like I want to get short platinum on a decent bounce. Silver gives us another bounce. I might be interested again. If bonds, I think if bonds, here's the Ultra bond. So if the Ultra bonds could try and punch back up to resistance, I would be open to shorting up there as well. This is why this price action's been hard, guys. Look at bonds. It's just, yeah, you had on the back, you had that. I mean, just it's been wacky. It'll settle down. Oh, the Dow's getting down there, guys. Let's go look at the Dow. No, I'm not seeing it either, Steve. I'm glad you're not seeing it either. It's just kind of. But I am looking at the Dow here. You got a lot of daily support down there in that 38,700. So I am interested in that level because I don't see stocks collapsing today. NASDAQ and ES still look well supported. The Russell's not collapsing. So if the Dow, we can catch a low a day, and you know, all it takes is one good trade, almost a really good one there on soybeans. I should have held that. And then silver, just a little bit of bad luck. You know, that's the difference between so far what is a decent day to what could be, you know, a fantastic day. And that's just sometimes the way the cookie crumbles. And I got to learn how to, as I'm streaming, I got to figure out a better way to organize everything so I'm missing too many trades, trying to explain what I'm doing, and which is good. I'm happy. I'm going to keep doing it, but I got to figure out how to not miss my setups. A lot going on. I like the Dow off of this. If everything else stays strong, bonds stay supported, I like the Dow potentially off of this daily trend line here on OMA into that general area. But see, good day. Just you know how I came into the day today, just thinking, okay, we're not going to copy trade today. This is not a good day to use to put on a lot of risk. And so far, that's, you know, pretty spot on. I think it's been a great day just to continue to look for some good setups, put ourselves in a good position, and manage risk. I would think a market like soybeans would be kind of, you know, it was pretty orderly there when we shorted soybeans. It looks like I've got I know what I'll go, of course. I've got my replay on my Sierra charts. I'll go replay. I'm going to replay a lot of the grains and some of these other smaller markets that I think are going to give us fantastic opportunities, just like we had soybeans today. I just didn't hold the short because it's been so long since I traded soybeans. The OMA patterns work great. Doesn't matter if it's soybeans or whatever. But then when I'm trying to, like, you know, read the price action, I want to go through some of the grain markets, because there's not as many algos in those markets, right? So they move differently, and I just want to get a sense for how they move. Let's see if the Dow, I had silver on my mind. See if the Dow can give us a flush. We just want to see, I think there should be a lot of support down here. I really do. So we just want to see if there's a flush down there, and then how it reacts if it starts to, you know, if we see a lot of support come in. And the flush is because of the stops. You know, we want to see them. So now you've got some real nice support down in here at like 38,708. Kind of the area I'm interested in. But usually you want, especially on the indices, you know, you want to see if you're looking for a trade like this, you want to see a fast snap down. You want to see them really gunning for those stops. And then you can see the price action. You can see the sweep. Okay, so bonds are trying to turn lower now. We got ultra bonds back below 126, but Okay, now bonds are trying to head lower. So if the party can get started for bonds to the downside, and you know we can get on board some shorts, that would be great. But it just kind of needs to start breaking a little lower on bonds. Silver is starting to break lower. We're in the 40s finally. So yeah, there you go. There's silver. Platinum. Platinum just sitting there. Crude we're waiting for. Silver again. Yeah, so silver looks. It was just kind of when we shorted there and just all that time. It was just, look, guys, just a little bit of support, and then yeah, that's okay. That's what happens too when you focus on many markets. There are advantages. Dow. Still think the Dow wants to flush. So Steve thinks ZN, that's the 10-year, could test support and head higher. Let's see. Let's take a look. There's a lot of support here. I mean, that's for sure. There is a lot of support there. So where would you be interested in, Steve? Like, I think 110.17 has a lot of support there on ZN. We'll just wait till the hourly close because we might get a nice pattern down here to go long the 10-year. Look at the ultra bonds. Same with the ultra bonds. I mean, you're right at yesterday's low down here. It held once, so you might get a similar situation like this, guys. You see how the ultra bonds, the hourly got into congestion here and then rallied. You know, those lows here at 125.23, they're coming across here as well. So could be setting up. Steve could be right. Could be a long setting up on bonds, maybe, if they're not falling out of bed. Right now they look like they, I don't know, there's something holding them up. There's a lot of buying because this weekly was powerful to the downside. Let's go back to the Dow. It's trying to head down. The stocks certainly don't look like they want to collapse, just not yet. So that's why I think the bonds might be supported. So maybe we'll be able to get long the Dow down here and then maybe get long the bonds. Let's just kind of see. I'm looking for this, you know, 38,708, just below those lows. It would have to hold like, you'd have to fill me and then show me it wants to hold. Let's put the order there. Put it at 10. What do you guys think about that? Is that good? Trying to buy the Dow at 38,710. I got an order in, but again, if it gets filled and I don't see an immediate reaction, I'm out. And then at 11 a.m. we might get long the bonds. We'll see. Because I can agree with you, Steve. I mean, it's a key support level. It's been holding so far. So it may hold for the rest of the day. Steve, you driving or you trading? Trading, nice. You liking my Dow call here, or are you gonna hold off on the Dow? Oh, cool. Nice. Cool that you can trade from your desk. You listen to me in your headphones? Yeah, there's a lot of support there on the Dow. I mean, NASDAQ and the ES are holding up nicely. The Russell's still kind of holding up. So if we can just get a flush below these lows, we might be able to catch a runner on the Dow. It's one that if we get filled on the Dow and it starts to head up, I would try to, you know, once we had a little space, I would try to move the stop to break even and just catch a runner. I should have done that on crude yesterday because it's really key for these challenges. Like if you get in on a trade that you think has a chance of being a runner, you just got to let the thing run. Let's see, Dow's trying to go for the lows here. You can see they want it. They're going for it. Pretty cool that you can trade from your desk. Oh, you closed copper? Yeah, it's been well, I think it's been a tough. Our analysis has been spot on as usual, so that's no surprise. But it's been a tough morning to trade because of what that BLS news release did to everything. That made it very difficult. So don't beat yourself up. I'm getting a little angry at myself at how I handled the silver trade. And I should have held short soybeans, but soybeans, you know, I'm not used to that, so I cut myself some slack. But silver, I should have handled that better. But, you know, that was a crazy announcement, and what are you going to do? Sometimes we're making split-second decisions. Nothing's perfect. We just kind of want the Dow to flush down here, fill us, and reverse. Bonds are at 125.30. Are holding. Dow's knocking on the door. You can see it wants to try and flush down. Here goes the Dow. It's trying. Make sure there's no crazy news coming out. No. Kind of a dead day news-wise. That's why I think stocks might just kind of support and drift up into the close. There's no major catalysts. Let's see. I'd want it just a quick snap down, fill us, and then I'd want the hour to close back up inside the range. And what I'm looking for. And it'd be nice. I look forward to copy trading and, you know, being very aggressive. Just, oh, we're putting up good, steady numbers, and just not the time to be aggressive. Believe me, I want to be aggressive, but I just can't be. Especially, the market's not conducive, and I actually kind of got COVID at a good time, right? Because the market's hasn't really been conducive to super risk taking while I've been sick, which is when I wouldn't take a lot of risk anyways. I'm pretty lucky that my COVID coincided with these 2 weeks of crazy market that we're just navigating nicely, and I'm tired and not really in the mood to take risks, but I'm hoping I can feel better Monday so I can take a lot of risks next week once this market works itself out. Here we go. They're going to try and flush the lows. They're leaning. Here's the lows. Are they going to snap it through? Happy dappy. You're going for it. Yeah, man. Trying. Low was 12 so far. I got my order at 10. Tapped against 12 twice. Still holding firm here at 10. So far, a lot of support there at 12. They're going for the lows now. Whoop, 12 held again. All right, I'm long at 10. Kind of the overall level generally that I want to hold. Seeing some support. See if we can get a runner to the upside. Sometimes if you pick the Dow right, I mean, if you pick it right, it can reverse back your direction quickly, or it can put you in trouble quickly, but we'll see. We've got about 3 minutes to go here. Did you get long the Dow, Steve? Did you take my level of 38,710? Be pretty cool if it could reverse to the upside. The low of the day so far was 08. So not a bad fill when you consider the spread. Let's see if it can reverse. We want to get this close now up inside the envelope. And then we want the liquidity to come in at 11 a.m. and just blast this thing to the upside. ES is 5030, Nasdaq's 17986. So let's see if the Dow can catch a runner here. I mean, now my stop mentally is only, I really don't want this thing to even go 10 points against us, because I feel like if we have the lows, we shouldn't go back there now. But that's just me. I can be very picky, as you know. Really, if we can get a close, above 740 would be awesome, because then we're above the hourly true average, which would be sweet. S&P's pushing higher. Nasdaq's pushing higher for now. There's the close. So now we want this thing just to rocket to the upside. We didn't close above the hourly true average, which I don't like. I'll give it a little bit of a chance. If it comes back to break even and stays there too long, I might cut it, but that's just me being picky. I want to see, if we have the low now, I want to see some buyers coming in. I want to see this thing head up. Because we moved inside the envelope on the 15, but we didn't close above the true average on the hourly. 15 is still trending down, so we really wanted to go for a congestion entrance to the upside. That was kind of tricky, you know, but when it gets on its horse, if you get it right, it can go. So you can just get like a nice, you know, 100 points out of this. Come on down, light my fire. For those of you just joining us, we're long the low of the day from the Dow. Knock on wood. ZN, yeah, testing the lows. Yeah, I'm liking the Dow right now. Gonna buy ZN. Come on, Dow. Well, my stop is mentally pretty much break even now on the Dow, Steve. So let's see if we can, you know, get a nice chunk out of this. Nasdaq's 5032. Yeah, I mean, NQ is 18,000. So see if the Dow can catch up to those bad boys. Look at ZN. Yeah, ZN, I mean, I don't know. There's something I'm not trusting about it quite yet. Not saying you're wrong. You know, you've been reading ZN really well lately, Steve. So you got to do what you think you got to do. We're either at the lows and it's going to hold, or it's going to break. I'm not really sure. Because yesterday on UB here, when you had that similar pattern, it just opened and went straight up. Whereas here, so far we're heading down. You know, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we can just catch a little bit of a runner on the Dow. Yeah, today is really wacky. It's kind of one of those days. Like if we can make a few $100 here on the Dow, that'd be nice. I'm moving my stop to break even on the Dow. We're managing risk really well. Let's just, as long as we continue to manage risk really well, that's all we can do, you know? Put my stop on the Dow at the low of the day, 2 ticks below our entry. If the Dow can just at least back to 38,770, up there to the daily true average, would be like top number 1. We're going for congestion entrance up now on the Dow. It's trying. Nasdaq's running into 18,000. Push a little. Yeah, but today is wacky. I mean, okay, well, you gave ZN a shot, you know. You did what you could do. There's a lot of support here on YM. I just, you know, like, I'd like to see this 15 get up there and enter congestion. The Dow is really weak right now compared to ES and NQ, so hopefully the Dow is not leading those lower. Hopefully those will pull the Dow up soon. My stop's basically 2 ticks behind our entry, so I'm just gonna let the Dow go. It either needs to give me $300 or $400 or break even. I got to start letting my trades run again. I've just been a little bit with COVID. I've been so tired. Like, I'm in on a trade, I make a little, I'm just taking it off. And it's okay sometimes to do that, but generally speaking, we got to let our winners run. Anyways, regardless, we bought the low of the day, so that'll make a good highlight video. I mean, look, ES is squeezing, so hopefully the Dow can just really get going. Here's ES. NQ is squeezing. I mean, they're squeezing. So, I mean, NQ is really squeezing. So, gosh, man, we could have the Dow kind of catch up. But we put ourselves in a good position by buying the low of the day. Dow so far keeps getting shut down at 38,740 for some. Here's UB trying to put in some. I don't know, the bonds just, I don't think I'm going to bet on them. Yeah, there's the Dow again, you see? Like, I'm selling coming in 740, 730. Trade of 8, right click on DOM on ask. Oh, okay. So stops are always ask. Okay, so maybe that's what I have to do. Thanks, I'll try that next time. Thanks for that. Gold's leaking lower. Silver, I mean, look at the drop there in silver. That's what we wanted. Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew silver was going to do that. I think one thing we're going to have to start doing for the stream is once we lock in on a market, like today, you know, from the pre-market forecast, I really, oh, your break even, ZN, nice. You know, I really liked silver from the short side today, so we should have just been, we got to focus more on, you know, my top pick from the elite forecast. Let's do that. Like, we don't need to jump around between all the markets constantly. Like, if we see silver has a great short pattern, which it did, like today on silver, we just patiently wait. I mean, we could probably be up quite a lot just on silver. So, you know, I think I'm going to work on that. Like, even though the scoreboard is there, I don't want to allocate brain power to markets Like silver, I knew was going to drop today, right? Like I knew that there was a really high probability silver was going to drop. So that's the one we should just focus on and milk, you know? Yeah, well, you can have one challenge account just dedicated to SI, you know? Here's Dow trying to push through. If he can push through 750, we could, you know, catch a little runner here. I mean, sometimes when you're in on the Dow, man, you can go 50 points your way quickly. Look, you see, we're just steady as she goes, consistent, Steve. That's all we can do. Want the Dow to push through 38,750 here. Copper catching a bid. That's good. If copper can catch a little bit of a bid, that would be good for our Dow. They'll play off each other. Platinum's breaking through that 880 level. So I was rewarded by not being sucked into that temporary support pattern. So that was good. Always good to just stay patient. And staying patient means you're gonna pass up on a lot of trades you really like, and it's just part of the game, you know. Let's see what the Dow is doing here. Nasdaq and S&P pushing higher, copper pushing higher. Trying to get this congestion entrance up move on the Dow. Yeah, exactly. It was tough with the volume surge. There was a lot to watch, and that's why you know, that doesn't happen very often, or at least when it does happen, like on NFP, you're prepared and waiting. That was a very unexpected volume surge, so it's normal that it threw us off a little bit. Look, we weren't in. Imagine if we were in a good position. Any position you were in at that point, you know, would have almost been certainly stopped out immediately. So, you know, we got from that perspective, it was nice, you know, just to not be in a position. Now we just need the Dow to, you know, I'd like to see a stronger close here. We're going to get this close here in 30 seconds. So we're trying to go for congestion entrance up. I hope it doesn't need to flush down one more time. Got about 10 seconds here. I added one. I'm taking a bit more risk. My stop, I'm 2 positions. My average now is 38,726. I kind of want, you know, this dot zone to hold here. So I'm trying to catch a runner on 2 here if it can blast. And if not, I'm just going to cut it because it's not really behaving. just not one of those days where it's just not like letting them run. There's a lot of support down here on the Dow, but it's just not like super responding yet. We haven't even made it back to the 15-minute envelope top at 50. I think it might be going to try and go back down to the lows of the day. Nice if we can get some buying to come in here and push this thing up. I'm out of my Dow. I'm waiting for it to come back down here. Yeah, I'm kind of looking for a quick runner that I'm just not getting today. So I think it's coming back down. We'll see. But it's not like I added there because we entered, we went for congestion entrance up. I thought, okay, there's a chance that this thing could just pick up the dot zone and go. And it didn't do that. So I took my break even there. I'm looking for a big win. And I'm so far it's been elusive today. Getting some great chances, just pretty darn unlucky today, to be honest. And it can be frustrating. I'm going to look at something else right now. I think you're okay, Steve. If your entry is still at break even on the first one, maybe you'll still be in. Maybe I made a mistake by adding. We'll see. I'm not trading very well lately. I don't know why the divergences between everything right now is it's fucking weird. What we're seeing with just can't get the same kind of read, which is why I think that's why I said with OMA, we just got to focus on the actual market that we're interested in. So, for silver, we should have just milked silver, We'll see what happens with the Dow. I hope you catch a runner. Bonds are kind of turning the corner a little bit here. I'm going to try and get long ultra bonds at 29. Yeah, I hope your Dow trade works out. I might have messed it up by adding, but I don't know. Sometimes when you add, you get a nice trade, but this isn't. Hey, at 738, 731. That's nice. All right, so I probably should have held on to my Dow add. It probably just was going. This is the kind of trading I'm doing today. Just not smart. There goes the Dow. That's probably it. Probably just testing a little bit lower there. Just choppy. It's just there's no fluidity to the price action right now. It's very frustrating. Yeah, there are also certain markets to add to, There's just no flow right now at all. So it's like I probably shouldn't have added to that Dow. I should have just left my stop at break even and just said, look, if it gets hit, it gets hit. It's not a market to aggressively add into. Anyway, it's still a positive day overall, and but it's just Just a shit day. And I mean, we're making money. We're having a great week overall, like steady as she goes. Everything's good. But it's just I can't wait till this shitty ass period in the market is over. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing. We're just picking our price areas, which you can see are very good, and then just wait for those. Like yesterday, I made a huge mistake, just not letting crude run. That would have been big, you know. But I'm just not being aggressive right now. I'm just using one account at a time. I'll trade a lot better next week when I don't have COVID anymore, and hopefully the market will be more flowy, and I'll be copy trading lots and lots of accounts. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, Steve, pretty soon, and just maybe might do a little more trading on my own, or we'll see. It's kind of a shitty afternoon, to be honest. So, but I'll update you in Elite if I see anything, and if you see anything, let me know as well. Right now, I'm trying to get long the Ultra bonds at 125.29. That's not a bad area. I think we could push back up here to 126.12. I'm trying to get long a couple of contracts here. The fact that it held that support, even though, I mean, I think it's pretty bullish there. So, yeah, see what happens. But look, good day, another consistent positive day, and just stay positive, stay consistent, and, you know, we'll do really well. So just don't be aggressive today, my friend. I think it's a good day to, you know, just kind of not do anything too crazy. I'm just going to go ahead and pull that Ultra bonds, and I got to take a little break here. I'm a little tired. But good day. We put ourselves in some good positions. Silver kind of, you know, soybeans, another good position. I'm just not trading well with my COVID, so I'll trade a lot better next week. But I'm analyzing fine, and you're making money, I'm making money. We're doing all right. So that's pretty cool. All right, my friend. Good luck, and we'll talk in Elite. I'll see ya.